going like 30 seconds or something. Can you read the chat? I know you can hear me, but Twitch can't right now. There it is. Okay, let's start this thing now. I just hid my microphone right before. How? What's up, Mike?
Nice. What's going on, man?
This is the part of the show where we act like we weren't just talking 2 seconds ago.
Never seen you before in my life.
Who the hell is that guy?
Well, let me just say, my name is Mike, and I'm French. Hold it, Canadian.
Are you really French Canadian?
Yeah.
My name is Mark, and I think Italian and maybe Hungarian, a little bit. So
Not Canadian?
I've been to Canada.
Not Canadian? No. Get off my show. Not Canadian?
So, speaking of Canada, here we are with our new podcast, talk show, whatever you want to call it. Sadly, without Pop That Baby Maker this week, but he's got some personal shit going on, so he's opted out for this one. That's okay. We will miss Pop
right.
being here. Hopefully he'll join us. yeah. So yeah, let me shut this music off because it's distracting the shit out of me.
All right.
What's up, man?
Super fun weekend gaming, huh?
It has, actually.
Some cool stuff happened.
Some not cool stuff happened.
Some world premieres happened.
Yeah, this is world premiere, the Canada episode.
Canada episode. First time for the last time ever.
Mike, let's get right into it. Did you watch the Game Awards?
I did watch the Game Awards.
Where?
Did you watch the Game Awards?
Yeah, where did you watch them?
I watched them
right here.
on Twitch TV / Mark Money.
That is your number one world premiere gaming source.
It's got only the best news and the most intense insect streams you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, hey man, before we actually start talking about the Game Awards and hop right into that, have you been playing anything besides Overwatch?
I just finished Days Before Christmas, the SNES platformer game that is going to be coming up for the Warp in Time video.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that like
So
another one of those homebrew NES games?
It's not a homebrew, actually. It got a unofficial release in Australia for the Mega Drive,
Okay.
and then
all right.
in Europe for the Super Famicom.
Is that what you
So-
have, the European version?
Yeah, that's what I played, was that one.
Oh,
But
it's
they
the
are
ISO?
extremely difficult to find
I see.
because they never actually officially got released. But
Right, okay.
you want to know more about that? We got a video coming.
Okay,
We're
all right.
hoping it'll be ready for Christmas Eve for everybody. So
Sweet. So you're
fingers
you're in the
crossed.
cutting room now. You got
I am indeed.
all the footage is in the can.
It's in there. We just gotta cut it together and throw
addition-
some tape on it.
Yeah, additional movie production.
Some adult assembly required.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's coming. And
Cool.
so that's what I've been playing. Is
Awesome.
those two games.
I'm
Feeling super festive.
I've still been playing God of War. It still is amazing as it's been. It's a game that was. This is a game of the year for 2017 or 2018. When did that game come out? 2000 or 16? 2000. I don't even know.
I want to say 18. I want to say it was the beginning of 18.
Hey Google.
If only there was a place.
When did the new God of War for PS4 get released?
God of War's initial release date is April 20th, 2018.
Wow, 2018.
Beginning of 2018.
Shit.
Nice.
I said 2016, like all confident about that.
No, sir.
Yeah. Well, what
Not
do I
this
know?
God of War.
This is not that kind of gaming podcast. Don't come here for the authoritative stance on anything. This is
Come here looking for facts and truths, all right?
This
This is not
is-
what we deal with.
our opinion.
It's just like your opinion, man.
We don't lie to people. We just believe in valid truths. And that's from something I can't even remember. Anyway.
It's from this podcast.
That's right. That's exactly right. And aside from God of War, I've been playing a very little bit of Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Fortnite. I was
No.
like, ooh.
No, that was the
Lord.
classic switcherooski.
Woohoo.
No, I downloaded Xbox Game Pass finally, and I downloaded the 74 gigabyte file that is Horizon 4.
Wow, okay.
And I fire it up, and I think I talked about this maybe with Pop, I did talk about it in my Game Awards stream.
Yep.
Yeah, so it doesn't play nice with OBS, and I was not able to stream it. So I just played the intro a little bit, and it's awesome, and I'm definitely just gonna play that. But now, it's funny. It really makes me want an Xbox, because I'd like to play it sitting down on the couch. And I don't know, I could run all kinds of crazy wires down the wall to get the PC down to or maybe go over to that one. But it's, sitting here and playing a game I guess it doesn't matter. I do it all the time. So just rather do
Right.
it on a bigger screen. Maybe set up the steering
Yeah.
wheel or something.
And somewhere more comfortable, like a couch instead of a gaming chair.
Yeah.
I get the sitting playing console games. It's more the comfort. Because if you wanted performance, right at that desk is the place to be.
I suppose. I don't know. That's coming from like a convert like yourself, where you used to play with a controller exclusively, and now you opt for mouse and keyboard. But
I did.
it's not about sitting for me or using the mouse and keyboard even, because as far as like having better accuracy and the best way to play. I got like some carpal tunnel or something going on in my wrist, and it's moving. I either just haven't found the right keyboard, but it's my left hand on the WASD keys that just too much of that for too long, and the mouse is fine. I actually have a design. I made a design it was a mouse where here I am giving it away. A mouse where you have these buttons on the side that you click with your thumb.
Yep.
I drew a little design with a couple, 4 face buttons, like you'd see on any controller. I made them, the PlayStation colors, just because it was.
Right.
I was fucking around with the iPad sketching app, and I figured why not try and actually use this to design something. That's what the app
Right.
kind of emphasizes. So yeah, all the buttons that you would find on your right hand of a PlayStation controller were on the mouse, right? So your triggers are obviously these two. And then in your left hand, almost like a PlayStation Move controller, or like one of those Oculus controllers. So all the buttons that you would have over there, and an analog stick, right? So your analog stick in your right hand is the actual mouse, And on your left hand, you just have an analog stick and the other half of a controller.
Right.
I feel like that would be my ideal way to play.
I feel like it's halfway in between like a VR setup
Mm-hmm.
and like so you're talking about like one hand that's half controller and the other hand where you're essentially, instead of using pushing of a stick, you're using physical movement, you know, in this case the mouse,
Yeah.
to move that
yes.
stick.
Yeah.
So like using a VR.
But also, like all those face buttons that you would have on your thumb would take the place of any auxiliary buttons that you would have on a computer. Usually with the mouse and keyboard control schemes, you've got all these extra buttons that are kind of like shortcuts for shit that you would have to go through menus to do on a console. So with this, you're still able to get to those menus. You're just doing it with button presses instead of keyboard shortcuts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have F1 through F8 and shit on your console, unless of course, unless of course you're playing with this bad boy.
There you go. Oh man,
You got all the triggers.
that's the finest in gaming.
And that's the PlayStation one too. The GameCube one is actually really cool. Have you ever seen the GameCube one?
Yeah, it's like the really big wave bird, right?
Essentially, yeah. So yeah, I've been playing Horizon and God of War and crossword puzzles on the iPad, if you want to call that a game. I mean,
Well,
crossword puzzles
keep in
has
mind,
always
sure.
been a game, but now it's a video game.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a crossword puzzle game on my Xbox 360 that I still play sometimes.
On the 360?
Yeah, it's called Coffee Time Crosswords. It's fantastic. Me and the missus play it.
Really?
Yeah, we play all kinds of mind games that keep us sharp. Like I have Wheel of Fortune and stuff for the SNES because we just play against each other.
Claire and I play Trivial Pursuit on the Switch.
Oh, nice.
It's like a partyized version of
Right.
Trivial Pursuit. It's really fast paced. But the animations and shit are just corny. Like it's a Hasbro game, But
Right.
I mean, it's cool though. It's fun. Game Awards. You want to talk about Game Awards?
Yeah, let's do this. Game Awards.
I mean, the obvious number one thing to talk about is, aside from Jeff Keighley's gratuitous use of the word Canada,
Canada.
the biggest, baddest, most awesome world premiere that we got was kind of took everybody by surprise. I feel like I wasn't expecting to see what I saw open the show. I actually turned on the pre-show thinking I was late for the start of the show. So when the show actually started and I had been there for 20 minutes already, I was like, hey, what is this that they're about to show us? And it was the Xbox Series X. I know, it's hard not to laugh at the name. I mean, cool announcement. Before we get to the name, it was
Super cool. I'm super excited to see like Microsoft be like, here it is. Here's the thing everyone's been rumoring about. Here's the Xbox 2, the whatever you want to call it. It's the Xbox Series X.
Whatever you want to call it. I mean, you could have literally called it anything. Look, it's not going to go down as the worst naming convention from a video game company.
I think Nintendo's got it locked pretty hard.
Well, I think we can actually dabble into some of this would be a fun topic. I thought about it. I was going to put it on the list. I knew it was going to come up, so I didn't bother. Let's branch off right now. We'll get back to this Xbox. We'll remember where we left off. We were talking about the new Xbox, but it's got this funny name. It's the Xbox Series X. For anybody who has been living under a rock for the past week and you didn't see this one at the top of every news story, and you're coming here for your news.
The only place to get it.
The next Xbox has been revealed at the Game Awards, and its name is ridiculous, to say the least. The Xbox Series X. That's how many? Let's want to add a couple more X's in there. I mean, there's got 3 so far. Would you like to add any more? Is that like the point? Triple X? Well, they have the Xbox One X and S.
Is that why Vin Diesel was there?
We'll get to that. We will get there. But yeah, so some of the bad naming conventions in history. What are we talking about here? I mean, the Wii was that it's hard to talk shit about the Wii. Yeah, but it did so well and it was so much fun to play.
Wii,
And
yes.
it's become part of the lexicon, I feel like.
Yes,
When you're talking
for sure.
like the Wii is iconic.
The
Crazy
Wii
name.
reached people that don't play games.
Dude, Pop, what are you doing? Why are you doing that, my man?
X gonna give it to you.
There's Pop. He's joining us in the chat. This is our esteemed co-host. Oh, shit.
Dropped in to say hello.
I get one, too.
X gonna give it to you. Hey, now it's festive in here.
There we go. Sub anniversary doesn't match with the actual date. So this is really from like a month ago. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair dues. Hey, man. You're welcome to join in whenever you want. But if you want to just hang out in the chat, all good. We were just talking about some of the worst naming conventions in
So the
gaming
transition
history.
from
Yeah.
the Wii to the infamous Wii U, which I'm
Was
not gonna
prob-
lie, I was in the crowd that believed, why the hell would I want to spend another $300 to get a tablet for my Wii so I could play it not near my TV?
I, not unlike you, saw it in a Game Informer, and the article was, "Here's the next Wii from Nintendo," something along those lines. And I'm paraphrasing a bit, but I looked at it and I said, "Oh, so it's like a redesigned Wii with this tablet controller." So
Right.
like I didn't see it as an add-on. I saw it as like, when
Like the next
PlayStation
Wii?
when PlayStation came out with the Slim the first time, that it's like one of those. Like, oh, and
Just a redesign.
Nintendo had already done that with the red Wii Mini that didn't have internet and was like it did not have a disc drive.
No, it had a disc drive, but
Oh.
it had no internet capability.
Oh, right,
And it was
right.
sold packaged with Mario Kart, which they were pushing was the best in online multi-kart racing.
Right. That's right.
So,
But yeah, the Wii U ended up not being that, and it didn't. We all know it didn't do very well in sales. It was, I would say, critically, people respect it and they acknowledge like the good games that were on it, but commercially, it was a fucking wow.
yeah, they definitely dropped the ball.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say that the naming of it definitely had
Probably
something
led
to
to-
do with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Call it the Wii
Because-
2 and you have no problems. They didn't want to copy PlayStation, but it's like you kind of owe PlayStation a little something for how you fucked them with that original deal. Nintendo, you know what I mean? Just like not trying to be
You think
a
they
fanboy.
fucked up though?
Well,
I mean-
they told them like we're gonna go and do all this shit, and then they went and did it with Panasonic, and you see how that turned out.
Right. Yeah.
It's just kind of like
But-
Sony got to look at that and be like, huh, whatever. But yeah, all you're doing is calling it the Wii 2.
Yep.
They could
That's
have,
all they needed.
they would have been better off calling it just the U, not the Wii U. Just call it the U.
I mean,
Anything is
literally
better than
anything.
Wii U.
Yeah.
Like I say it
then they
now,
did
it
it
sounds
again.
so normal. Then they did it again. They did it again with their handheld. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Because we had, let's just start from the beginning. Let's go through because you had the Game Boy, the OG Game Boy,
Oh,
and
yep.
that went to the Game Boy Pocket. Yeah.
Yes.
And after the
Smaller, less batteries.
Yep. Still black
Yes.
and white,
Yep.
or black and was a gray background at that point. They switched from the green background to
From
the
the
gray
green
back.
to the gray. Yep.
Then you got the Game Boy Color. Admus, and what's up, homie? Then you got it was like a bunch of they had the Play It Loud editions and
Yeah, just
but those were
different
just
colors.
those were different colors. But then we
But so
started
far, they all make sense.
right,
You had the Game Boy, then the Pocket, which was the same thing as the Game Boy, just fit in your pocket.
Right,
Then,
then
they
you
added color, so you get color.
but then they come out with the Game Boy Advance. Okay,
Sure,
still makes
I'm still
sense.
on board.
The you get the message, right?
It's the most advanced Game Boy yet.
Yep, and it can still play Game Boy games, so it's okay that it's the Game Boy. It's a very upgraded Game Boy. It can play all Game Boy games, all Game Boy Color games, and now it can play these new Game Boy Advance games, which are awesome.
Hell yeah!
And it can even play videos in like the choppiest, shittiest quality you ever saw in your life.
Yep.
Moving on from that, then we start getting iterations of that. You've got the Game Boy Advance SP,
Right.
but that's kind of has something to do with the split SP. What did that stand for? It was the one that
SP.
folded shut. It was a square box and it opened up.
Right. I don't remember what SP stood for. That's
But
a
it's
good
not
question.
important. But
either
that's
way.
not a new. It didn't do anything new. It just was a different configuration. So you can't really. But the naming
Right.
of it, I mean, this is where it starts to get a little weird because they released the same console with a different feature and call it something different. And I think could be confusing for the consumer, especially when those handhelds at that point in Nintendo's life had been geared towards children.
Yes, but I'll still argue at this point that you could tell the difference. I mean, when we look at the whole timeline like this, you get the Game Boy and the Game Boy Pocket. I mean, right from the beginning, I guess that's really a redesign of something they already had. So,
Pop points out
Right
that
off
it had
the
the light, the backlit screen, and that was
yeah,
a big.
the SP,
Yeah.
that was the huge thing. And also had a rechargeable battery on it, too.
Do you think it stood for screen protection because it folded closed and protected the
folded?
screen? But
I mean,
so the
Could've.
could have the other Game Boy Advances was the Micro, same thing, but it was
Yes.
just a tiny. And I mean that was more like specialists are gonna see. You know, people who are into that scene are gonna see those things and know what they're buying. So still, kind of weird that they're naming
Yeah.
it all these things, but not.
because I never saw a ton of marketing pushed out either for something like the Micro.
Yeah,
like
that's
the
why they're
SP,
so rare.
everybody was like, "Oh my god, look at it! It's amazing! It closes!" Like, all right, great, awesome, perfect. But I never saw an ad for the Micro.
I was just
Nobody
about.
was ever like, "Knock knock, Micro would like to play."
Yeah,
It-
yeah, right. There was no huge marketing to it was just available. It was kind of like a cool, quirky thing. And like Admison points out in the chat, he had the really cool golden red one. That's the one that fetches a few bucks now.
Not the Super Famicom one
Ye-
or the Famicom color one.
Yeah, that's the one that's like $250 on eBay right now, as of filming of this at the end of 2019. Ooh, excuse me.
Timestamp. Date.
Right. After the Game Boy Advance, we got the DS,
Yes,
the first DS.
the original DS.
We get it.
which
It means dual
I-
screen.
Ooh, did you have one of those?
I did have one. And, well, I got it later, like after the DS came and went. Like I
Right.
got one, along with a Game Boy Advance SP and a Game Boy Micro, all of which I sold at this point. I kind of wish I didn't because they were just cool things to have. But I actually played the Micro more than anything.
Yeah,
It was so
I could
easy
see
to
that.
just keep in your pocket. It was a really cool
Exactly.
system. I like that. It's impressive that something like that size could keep the battery charged for like a really significant amount of time. I'd never tested what it was, but
right.
it was a cool console. But the DS, it was a clunky monstrosity, but it was cool. It was very cool.
Yeah.
And it had
It was-
and it had a dual screen. I mean, we could get into like you know all the shit about the DS, but you know, stylus touchscreen, second screen. DS means dual screen naming. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Then you get the light, and then
And
you
you
get,
get the light.
XL.
Just, okay, no, then you get
No.
the eye.
DSi, right? Which what did that one do?
DSi.
That one now we're starting to get
It
into
had
some
a
weird territory.
camera. I think it had a camera, right?
Oh,
I
that
think that
was
was the
okay.
difference.
Okay. So the
That
DS
was the
Lite
first
had
one
no
to feature
camera.
the camera. Right. I'm pretty sure that the DS and the DS Lite had no camera. So the DS was the big, huge, chunky one. Then they made a nice, neat rectangle.
Yes.
Then I think they gave it a camera and maybe a better battery,
Okay, that makes sense. Well,
and
I
that was
mean,
the light, and
right.
that was
The
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 eye,
DSi.
and that's where it starts getting creepy because now you have the light and the eye, and they look exactly the same except for a little camera. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So now we start getting in that gray territory.
So I'm just, we have the technology, and we're not really crunched for time. I don't think tonight.
Oh God.
Are you?
No.
Nintendo handhelds, right? List of Nintendo handhelds. Oh, we forgot about the Game and Watch, but that was kind of like.
That was pretty everything, right?
Okay, so you had the DS, the DS Lite, the DSi, and then the DSi XL was the one that came next in the DS
Ooh.
family. The DSi XL, so bigger screen. But look at that's the same system 4 times.
Yes. And everything from the light looks the same. Like at a quick glance, could you tell which one's a light and DSi or a DSi XL?
I'm not looking at pictures of them, but I'm on fandom.com
Okay.
with a wiki for a list of Nintendo handhelds. But it doesn't matter really. The DS, I mean, that's fucked up. And no, I couldn't tell. I couldn't look at one from a distance and tell you what I was looking at, Mike. To answer your question,
Because I'm looking at the three of them. They have a picture on Wikipedia of the three of them right next to each other. And other than the fact that one of them is red, they look exactly the same.
all right, I'm on Wikipedia. Let's take a look here. Handheld consoles. Oh yeah.
I mean, they're really close. Really, really close. And what's the difference? The DSi, DSi XL, the DS Lite, and
I mean,
the
they
DS.
they just made the. But so let me go back on this other site because now, hold on to your butts, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it gets really fucked up. When you get to the Nintendo 3DS line, okay, so we've got the Nintendo 3DS, the regular old Nintendo 3DS, first one that they came out with. Great, we get it. It's a Nintendo. It's in 3D and it's a dual screen, so 3DS. I see what they did there. They made a portmanteau of letters and numbers. Good for you.
Very good.
Then they come out with the 3DS XL. Still gets the point across. Bigger screens, faster, better, all that bullshit. Then we get the Nintendo 2DS.
Okay.
I see what you did there. It's everything the 3DS does, but it's not in 2 dimensions. I mean, it's not in 3D. It's in 2D. Sorry.
Okay. So then we have a 2DS, right? So now they're making Nintendo 2DS games?
No. It plays 3DS games. It's just in 2D.
What?
Well, yeah, it's a cheaper.
Absurd.
Yeah, this is a cheaper
Now-
alternative for your kids if you don't want to expose their brains to crazy 3D cancer that you get from
Right.
watching games in 3D too closely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Which I thought, wow, how awesome of Nintendo. Looking out for the kids. You don't want them to get their brain scrambled by 3 dimensions.
Just wrap
so
a
you bring it
tinfoil
back.
hat around your kid before they play, and
Right.
everything will be fine.
So I'm like, okay, this is great. This is no problem. I get it. I got the message. Then again, I guess I'm too hip on these things, so I understood it. That there's no 3D. It's just 2D, but it plays the 3DS games. I was in a Walmart last year, right before Christmas time.
Wait, this is a real story?
This is a real story. I
Okay.
was in a Walmart, standing there looking at games while my wife does shopping because I'm not allowed to touch nothing, so I go stare at the games. So I'm standing there looking at the case with all the games in it, and this woman walks up with her husband. They're standing there. They're looking at all the games. And then I hear one of them go, I don't see any. I don't see it either. Well, these ones say 3DS. Do you think that works?
Oh,
No,
jeez.
she said specifically it's a 2DS system. I sat there and went, the message did not get through to the mainstream.
Did you help
So
them?
I helped them out
Oh, yeah.
and told them
Yeah.
any of these games will work on a 2DS. The 2DS just doesn't have the 3D feature,
Right.
which, of
It
course,
turns
helped
your
them
kids'
out.
brains and eyeballs into liquid shit that pours out of their ear hole.
Yes, it's actually just like the scene from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, where you start playing 3D, then your head melts and bugs come out and crawl all over the place.
Did Nintendo effectively scare their own audience into buying a safer console?
I'm not
plan
sure
all
if
along.
they scared their audience into it, or if they saw an audience that was like, well, I would let my child have this, but 3D is too scary for everyone. So then they just scale it back and say, well, this one's only 2D. It's made for kids. Look at it. It's a
We've been
rigid
staring
piece of
at
plastic.
we've been staring at 2D since the TV was invented.
Yeah, I'm so familiar with this. Give me two.
Yeah, yeah. Believe it or not, folks, it doesn't. The fuckery doesn't stop there, because then they decide to come out with what they're calling the new Nintendo 3DS. And they couldn't leave well enough alone. They gave us a new Nintendo 3DS XL and a new Nintendo 2DS XL as well.
Oh my
So that's
God.
6 consoles that technically all play the same games, but all, like, some are only compatible if you have added accessories, and some have extra buttons, and some of them work the 3D better than others.
Yep. So anything that says new on it has the extra joystick that goes with it. If
The
you can even
C-stick.
call that little nub a joystick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really. I'm not really in the mindset of shitting all over Nintendo for their decision, but it's just, is this an example of the worst in video game naming? Because
Naming, for sure.
You think
take
so?
a average person off the street and say, which one of these is going to play this game, and hand them, 6 different 3DS and 2DSs and one cartridge that says 3DS on it, I'm pretty sure they're going to pick one of those 6 consoles.
Wait, if you're saying, if you ask the general public who thought what the worst name was, they're going to pick one of those?
Yeah. If you gave them a 3DS game that said 3DS on it,
Yeah.
and give them 6 consoles to choose from and said, which one does it work in?
Yeah.
They would probably pick one and assume that was it.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're probably right. Especially if you were not affluent in video game culture at all.
Or even if you base it off Nintendo history, because you could not take a Wii U game and put it in a Wii. You know what I'm saying? But you can take a
Wii game,
3DS
and
game.
put it in a Wii U, though.
Yeah, you can. You can
Yeah.
go that way.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I
to be
mean-
expected. I see what you're saying, though.
You can take a 3DS game and put it in an old 3DS. You can put it in a new 3DS.
Okay,
You can put it
so
in a 2DS.
I'm willing to say that so far, everything that we've talked about, that's worse than the Wii U. And Wii U is worse. The reason that we're even talking about this, the new Xbox Series X. And I think what's even worse than Xbox Series X is the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. Those are all very terrible names. I think the Xbox 360 is a stupid name. Really. I know I sound too much like a PlayStation fanboy, which I guess you could call me that, but they just played it safe. So maybe there's something negative that you could say about that too. Like, they didn't take any chances. Nintendo was going to call it the PlayStation. They had every intention of calling it the PlayStation. There was a space between it. They fucking did their own thing. They took out the space and just called it the PlayStation. They played it as safe as they possibly could.
Yep.
PlayStation, I think, is a great name for a game console. It's a station
Sure.
where you play.
Where do you play? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great name. But so naming conventions wise, they just played it safe. They didn't take any risks. There's something to be said about that, but there's also something to be said about, don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just like the controller and just like the names. But moving on from that, videogamecritic.com has a list here of 10 of what they consider bad names for video games systems.
Okay.
And at number 10, I agree with this. I don't know if this is the proper order, but these are all definitely, they look like pretty bad names from what I'm seeing. TurboGrafx 16.
Okay.
I
mean, it wasn't it? That's 16-bit era. So
Okay, but it's called the TurboGrafx one word, and graphics is spelled GRAFX, which is
Yep.
kind of neat, but then it's dash 16. That's the actual name. TurboGrafx with just one F and one X. I mean, that's not even, graphics is PH. Like, you're trying too hard to be.
no, not graphics. Graphics.
But that started out in Japan as the NEC PC engine, which that's kind of a cool name. That's kind of a cool name. And then they had the Turbo Duo, which was the PC engine, and the CD thing.
Yeah.
But in the States, it was called the TurboGrafx 16, and I think that's a stupid ass name. What do you think?
I definitely do
Anybody
like
else?
Turbo Duo more.
That one's cool.
I think Turbo Duo is good. It gets the point.
Number 9, we have the Sega Master System. It's kind of shitty. It's kind of a shitty name. The Master System. I mean,
All right,
just-
but is it confusing though?
okay, you're right. It's just bad.
I mean, like,
it's just not.
That's my problem with
Well,
the
no, I would
Xbox
say
Series
that
X.
I would say that the
'Cause then,
Sega
like-
Master System is confusing. Genesis technically means like the beginning,
Mhm.
and Master System sounds like it should be superior to the Genesis.
Yeah,
So yeah, that is
certainly is.
a stupid ass
Came
name.
from before. It came from the Almighty Master
Right.
to create the beginning.
And Sonic the Hedgehog was released on the Master System. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. I actually played that when I was a kid too. Sonic on the Master
Yeah.
System after playing it on the Genesis. I really did think that the Master System was newer. I thought it was like a better game console than the
No.
Genesis. Nah, it wasn't.
Nope.
They've got the Sega Dreamcast on this list, and while I did never really think that was a bad name, like it didn't really age well. The Dreamcast.
I think that name's great.
It's.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Dreamcast. I mean, it's
I think it
a little
was great.
weird, and thinking back on it, like how that system played out, and it didn't last as long as everybody was hoping. Like it really did seem like they were ahead of their time. They were really like dreaming the future here. And then, like, with just a word, with just Dreamcast, everybody knows what you're talking about.
That's true.
I don't have to sit here and be like, hey, you guys play the Xbox? No,
Which
the
one?
Xbox X. No, the Series X, not the One SX. Yeah, no. That. Not doing that.
Is that what they
You
sound
guys ever
like?
play Crazy Taxi? You guys ever play Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast?
Yes.
Boom.
Yes,
Oh.
I have.
Yes, I have.
You know what I really liked? Soul Calibur. I'm just saying that's where the conversation always goes when you're talking about the Dreamcast.
Soul Calibur.
Oh yeah.
Mine was. I always loved Crazy Taxi.
Oh yeah, no, that too. This list says the Wii. That's we already discussed that. The Wii
Yep.
is kind of untouchable. I mean, not untouchable, but it's up there. It commands respect.
It was great until the Wii U came along. Then
Yeah.
it got confusing.
Yeah, it kind
So
of
really, I
sullied
guess
the
we have
Wii
nothing-
name.
Yeah, we really have nothing against the Wii. We have everything against the.
I don't have anything against the Wii U. I just
Well-
have something against the name of the Wii U.
Its name.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Wii U is why we have the Switch now.
Yeah. The Wii U, I thoroughly enjoyed once I got it because I feel like once I got it, there were a ton of good games that came out for it.
Yeah.
But before I picked one up, there's nothing there. It wasn't until I saw Mario Kart 8 come out that I was like, okay, now they're making games again.
Those are all Wii U games.
Yep.
Yeah, it,
Yeah,
it does
so-
have a solid collection of first-party titles.
Yeah,
No
once I saw
third-party
that Mario
support.
Kart, golden.
We've gotten this list, the Fairchild Channel F. I've got to agree that that's a dumb, stupid name.
That is.
Moving on. The Atari
The Fairchild.
XEGS. I don't think I've ever heard or said that in my life.
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
It,
I'll give it to Atari though. They did have some confusing fucking names to begin with.
yeah, and they,
You just
whoa,
keep throwing
nobody
numbers
ever
on
knew,
there
like, what are
and
you
call
trying
it
to
a
make?
day.
Is this a game console? Is this a computer? Like, what are you trying to do over here?
I got the 2600. That's 5200. We got the 7800. Whoa. You know,
Wow, this,
it's like-
yeah. This article has next on their list the Super Nintendo. I think that's a great name.
Ooh. I think it is too, but I could see the confusion going from regular Nintendo to Super Nintendo.
I mean, it really does get the point across that this is the better one. But what they go on to say is the original Nintendo was a legitimate phenomenon. I'm reading from VideoGameCritic.com. The original Nintendo was a legitimate phenomenon, so I can understand wanting to retain that part of the name. But Super Nintendo, really? That was the absolute best they could come up with? In order to comprehend just how monumentally dumb this name is, try to imagine the names Super PlayStation or Super Xbox. I hear Nintendo was actually planning on calling their follow-up console the Super Duper Nintendo. Okay, I made that part up, but it wouldn't really surprise me. I mean, could you imagine if the Nintendo 64 was like the Mega Nintendo? Oh, no, I guess Sega did that with the Mega Drive.
The Mega Drive. No, but I would still play a Super Duper Nintendo.
I kind of want to do that. Don't they have that? Oh, the Super Boy. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Superboy. Yeah. No, I would play a Super Duper Nintendo though. I mean,
Yeah, me
if
too.
they still came out with the same titles that they came out with anyway, fuck, call it whatever you want.
Yeah, and I mean, it was the Nintendo Entertainment System. So really, you've got if you're not going to say Nintendo, you're just going to call it this is Nintendo's Entertainment System. This next one is Nintendo's Super Entertainment System.
Ooh, could you imagine if instead of SNES it was
Cess?
NESes?
Oh, incest. Incest?
Yeah, incest. Incest.
The Nintendo
Yes.
incest?
The Nintendo Incest. Coming to a store near you.
Oh God.
I love the 90s.
I like this this tangent that we're going. Okay, so they put the Wii U next, then the Virtual Boy, which is kind of
Okay.
that was supposed to be the Game Boy, but like they called that a portable console.
Yeah. I mean,
no.
Sure. I guess.
What if you have
guess-
6D batteries?
Yeah, and if you also don't mind strapping something the size of a fucking toaster to your face and walking around with it. I mean, why not? Let's do it.
And then Xbox One is at the top of the list. So I feel like somebody who wrote this was maybe kind of biased. Google Stadia, somebody else says on a different list. I think that's an interesting name. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
and it's the first one from Google, so they can pretty much call it whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, Apple.
It's,
Apple had
it's
a game
until they make
console.
another one and the Stadium, then it becomes a stupid thing.
What was Apple's game console? Oh yeah, the Apple Bandai Pippin.
Pippin,
I bet you that thing sucks
Scotty Pippin.
really badly. So yeah, we went off on this crazy tangent because we
Just
started
to say
talk
that
about
the Xbox Series X got announced
at the Game
beginning of
Awards.
the Game Awards.
Yes, so let's talk about that. It's it looks like a PC tower. I mean, that's the most obvious thing that can be said about it.
Sure does.
That makes sense. I like it. I'm just gonna go out and say that I like how it looks. I like that you can put it horizontal or vertical. I
Ooh,
like that
do
it's
like
got.
options.
I like that it's got the big giant vent on top. Some people were saying that the green glow coming out of the top of it looked corny. I don't think so. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, more vents just means more air, which means that they can make it run cooler, hopefully. so you can push it harder. So if you're bothered by the big green light, I mean, put it in a fucking dark room by itself and run cables, I guess. What do you want? I'm excited.
Yeah.
I do like the look. It looks sleek.
Hey,
You know,
so
they didn't do anything fucking crazy with it. It's no weird shape or anything.
yeah, and I guess they tweaked the controller a little bit, and the D-pad is more akin to their Elite series controller, where it's got those round bits in the corners.
Yep.
And they added a share button to the middle of the controller, which makes sense because, that was just one little caveat that PlayStation had the button there, and Xbox could essentially do the same shit, but you had to back out to the menu, then go find the screen grab thing. So
Right.
people didn't realize how much they wanted that share button before they had it. I never would have been like, wait, you're adding buttons to the controller and this is what it does? That's stupid. And what? The other button that you're adding is a big giant fucking map button in the center of the controller? What the fuck is this?
Speaking of a share button,
Yeah.
let me take you on another tangent here.
Okay.
Way off in space.
Okay.
Can you tell me what it was that I watched the other day on youtube.com/markmoney? What was that kid doing?
Oh, yeah. So I was playing God of War and I was riding an elevator up and Atreus just starts taking like a little lunging step and then standing straight up and then take a lunging step, and he got like caught in some animation loop and he would not stop doing it.
Like he was trying to just reposition himself in the room to the same spot while you were on a rotating platform.
Right. Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
so weird.
What is he?
And then as soon as the platform stopped, he ran off of it like nothing was even happening. I'm like, what the fuck
Yep.
is this?
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah.
But that's the fun, weird stuff that you get out of a share button
Yes,
like this.
exactly. Like when I made the Jeep fall off the mountain in Uncharted 4.
Yes.
I actually tried for a good, 20 minutes to make that happen. I was like, I wonder if I could just make the Jeep fall off and then, soft lock the game. Nope, they thought of that.
See, but that's the fun stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the stuff that you love to see, and these little buttons, like add the button, it makes it that much easier for people to get that.
Right.
And then you get the game out there, more people looking at it,
So, are you on Xbox's website, by the way?
I'm not.
Because they have it up on their actual website, and I'm looking at this picture, which is very obviously just a rendered image of what they want it to look like. So who knows if one of these actually exists physically? I mean, if they're saying that that's what it's going to look like, I'm sure there's one floating around somewhere.
Or at least something close to it.
Yeah, but this is definitely
developer.
a rendering. So, but when I'm looking at it, I'm trying to see on the... Do you see the bottom left hand of the dark face? The shadowed face?
Yes.
There's something there, but I can't make out what it is.
It's the Xbox logo.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Just a little ingrained. It's a... Okay, so then the side with the slot obviously is supposed to be the front if you're in the horizontal positioning of it.
Right. And if you were going to put it... Oh, you mean at the top. It would
Right.
be up. Yes. So from looking at this, I don't know. I've heard plenty of people talk about this already, but just some of the things that I'm noticing for really looking at it for this long. I like how the top, and I haven't really heard anybody talk about this, is concaved. You know what I mean? It's not flat, so that would, I guess, prevent you from putting something up there. You don't want to really be stacking shit. I think the side of it should be that way too. I think
Right.
anything that like any sort of like big transformer or anything that's electric, I never understood why they all have flat surfaces where you could like place things on top of. Like this is
Do you
just
think the bottom is like that too? So that even if you have it stacked in this vertical orientation, that it has,
more
you know,
room
it's
to
just
breathe.
resting on the 4 points, so it
Yeah.
has that little pocket underneath to get the air.
That would be a great design, I think.
It would, especially after they had so many heat problems with the 360.
But
Like, I
yeah,
think
I
they're
mean,
really trying to figure out how to keep these things cool.
yeah. I still am skeptical that they're gonna say, "Here's what you got, and this is it." I think we might be seeing what I've been talking about for a long time, and that's you can open up this case and upgrade with official licensed Xbox upgrade components.
This is
Here's
gonna
the
be the one.
here's the base console, and here's the upgraded memory. You could do it yourself. You could do it at any time. You're not locked down to one console. You know, they will do a refresh probably, and I bet you they're going to squeeze it down into like a GameCube size almost. Maybe like
Right.
2/3 of what this is. You know?
Right. Which makes me wonder if this will be the one that you can actually upgrade. Because
Yeah,
I feel
maybe
like
not.
if they were going to do a system where they were going to upgrade it, I'd expect it to be bigger. Because then you're allowing people, you're saying, okay, we're showing you, here's the door, here's the key, now go ahead and go inside. You know?
Right.
And I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of don't do it if you're, you know, if it's plugged in. Don't do it if it's this. Don't do it if it's that. But then you have to make the inside like, okay, so you have your motherboard in there, right? And you got all your connections, but now you have to make it almost idiot proof to go in there.
Right.
So you got to have your motherboard, but have some kind of covering for it to be like, okay, you don't have to touch this part. You just need to access this little cable here, or this little port there, or this big square block that you just plug into it to switch out your graphics or your RAM or whatever else you're going to upgrade. But
Right.
they have to make them all into like a bulletproof, like if I could take a Nintendo cartridge and now just plug it into my Xbox, and all of a sudden now, boom, I got more memory. It processes better and faster because I went out to the store and bought the memory expansion pack or whatever they want to call it. It's
Yeah.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
You just open up the door, plug this in the little slot like it says, close the door,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
turn it on, and
That's
let
what
it update.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be real
Right.
like plug and play.
And that's why I'm saying I think it's got to be bigger. I think if they're gonna let people in there, they're gonna give them the keys to go inside. It's got to be bigger and it's got to be bulletproof in there.
How's the lag on your stream? Are you seeing this like right after as it's happening?
Yeah, more or less.
I'm on the media screen, so figured play this thing and watch it again. It's just a little 2-minute sizzler for the
All right.
Xbox. I mean, it's what they showed at the Game Awards.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time.
I could send you the link if you wanted to watch it on YouTube.
And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, fulfill all your wishes.
Locations.
But now let's have a surprise.
I think I had that blasting way too loud.
Let's have a dream which isn't under control. And then you would get more and more adventures.
So I get the idea of this entire thing, right? The amount of times that they said dreams in this, I felt like it was going to be an ad
For dreams?
dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you are now.
Yeah, I was blown away when it ended up being what it is.
Yeah.
What
Like
do you
I said,
think that
I
other
really
little
was
button?
convinced.
That other little button in the bottom right. Oh, it's a USB slot.
Have you used any of the Elite controllers?
I've held one in my hand, but I've never used it to actually play a game. But it does feel nice. It's got some good weight to it.
Right.
Welcome, Alrez for tips. We are streaming from 2 separate locations. We are using Discord and just capturing the video from Discord. So anyway, yeah, the Xbox Series X, bad name, cool concept. It looks like and they showed a game for it too. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
Yep.
And that I was watching that and I was getting fucking blown away by what I was seeing cuz it was all captured in engine.
Right. And it looks really, really good. It
looked real. It actually looked real. Like we always were saying, like games look real. They look real. This looked real. That's super cool. Buddy and I want a podcast for fun ourselves, and we were puzzled how to do it. You guys got a follow from me, bros. Oh, great. Thanks for the follow so much. Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Hopefully we're gonna... Oh, yes. There's no... I'll rest for tips. When we do the podcast, the alerts don't pop up on screen because I was hoping to post these videos one day, but I see that you followed and I appreciate it. So Xbox Series X,
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2, that's right. I showed my girlfriend. She's not into games at all. I actually showed her she is into Fast and the Furious. So I showed her the Fast and the Furious reveal that they ended the show with. And she was like, so why are you saying this looks bad? Because naturally, she's not in it like I am. And I'm like, well, it's not that it looks bad. It's just that it looks like last generation. Like, not the one that is about to end, but the one that ended before this one. Like, it looks like this.
It looks bad because I showed this to you, and you said, this is a game, not, is this a new movie?
Right.
That's the level we should be at.
Right. And then I showed her the Hellblade one, which we could watch that too. I mean, you saw it. I saw it. If you go watch the Game Awards, you saw it. Even she was like, this is like photorealism to a T. It's 100% looks real.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
Nutty. Blew my mind.
Did you play Hellblade 1?
No, but I just bought it like a couple of weeks ago because it was like really cheap on Amazon, and that's when it was a PlayStation exclusive. Now, looks like Xbox bought that studio up.
Scooped it up.
So.
Yeah, they did buy a lot of stuff recently, so. Gotta start showing it off. I never played Hellblade 1 either, but I did hear a lot of good things about it.
Me too.
So I'm kind of curious. And to be the, like, not only the launch title, I guess, but like the debut
that they show,
like
it's got to kind of be good.
All right. Yeah, I just hope it has like that much of a following.
So you know what I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about, or maybe I haven't really just been reading that much, is what do you think a console that they're calling the fastest and most powerful, and that's what they're striving to be. They want to be the best, and Phil Spencer has said that he wants to have the best hardware available. And so the best hardware available, fastest, most powerful, and capable of ray tracing. They said capable of 60 frames per second at 4K. They said it's possible to output in 8K. They didn't really give like frame rate numbers to go with that, but it could just mean an 8K image, or it could mean 8K in some, if you have an 8K TV, like you can view 8K media using whatever it means. They say they want it to be able to do that. And we're talking about...
do you think it means 4K in each eye?
Maybe it does. But it means SSDs, and it means like crazy custom processors and things of that nature. Like, I don't know too much about the ins and outs of it, but I know that stuff's not cheap. So what are we calling this thing? I mean, this thing's got to launch at 500 minimum. I'm thinking it's going to be... I mean, they said there's going to be 2 of them.
Right. So I'm thinking you'll probably get a 5
and a 7,
maybe a 550,
oh,
and a 7 or a 750.
Ooh, that's going to be a hard sell. They better have software.
But they're going to come out, and you know what they're going to do is show up, and they're going to be like, all right, here it is.
Everything works on this.
We got this one, and it's $500. We got this one, and it's $750, and everybody's going to go, what the hell? And then they're going to go, look at these specs.
Yeah.
And then throw specs everywhere, and people that know computers and stuff are going to go,
wow,
well, that's really good stuff for what you're getting.
Yeah.
So...
But it's when they say everything that you have for your 360 and for your Xbox One will play on either one of these. Yeah. When they say that would be amazing. They have to. I mean, that's what kind of what PlayStation's been banking on. Oh, it's going to be backwards compatible. Like, good. You guys started that. Well, I mean, they didn't start it, but when the PlayStation 2 played PS1 games, I remember being like, this is a no-brainer to buy this console.
Is that the first one, too?
No.
First...
No, well, I mean without a peripheral?
Yeah.
Because...
just put it in the system, and it goes. I mean,
because the Sega Genesis had the Master System power-based converter, which, in all, respect where respect is due, that was backwards compatibility with your old system. But it was an add-on. You had to pay for that.
Right.
So, and the Super Nintendo could play Game Boy games. That was also a peripheral.
Yep.
So the first one, hold on. I think one of the Ataris could play games from a previous Atari. Wasn't that true?
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
I think it was the third Atari could play...
The 78. Or... Anyway.
Well, yeah. Now I want to know. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm looking.
I know, dead air, but it's...
Anyway, so it looks... Hellblade 2 looks really good. I'm really impressed with, the look of gaming that we're getting now. I mean, like we talked about the last time that I was here with the ray tracing on Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Minecraft looks fucking stunning with ray tracing. So put that to something else that already looks stunning,
Yeah.
Take a God of War and add 4K and ray tracing on top of it. Like, come on.
Yeah, but there's just no way that it's gonna be an affordable piece of hardware.
No, it's definitely gonna be expensive. No doubt about it. To get 4K at 60 frames, I mean, to get a nice 4K TV, you still gotta pay.
But they all admit that you don't make any money from selling the console. Yeah. You maybe make enough money to fund designing and producing the console. Right?
Right.
You got to pay people to design it and build it. You got to pay people to put them together. I mean, robots do a lot of it, I'm sure, but you got to pay for that too. You got to pay for all of it, packaging and marketing, and it's the games is where you make the money.
Yeah. So for our Atari thing, the 7800 did play backwards compatible to the 2600 games.
Okay. So it was just the 5200 that was the black sheep of that family.
Right. Just left out in the middle there. That was the first one, released in 1986. So there you go. You want to get an Atari? Get the 7800.
Yeah, there you go. It's the best one. And didn't that one have the best controllers too?
I don't know. The picture that's with this is still a shitty, like, one joystick, one button.
Yeah, but I think because the 5200 was the one that had the controllers.
Oh.
The ones that would break all the time. What?
With the number pad?
Yeah.
That sick joystick that looks like it's just a...
From a wheelchair?
Yeah, it's like, it's not even like, it doesn't even have a ball on it. It's just like a cylinder.
Right.
It's gross.
Anyway, that was the big news from the Game Awards. And, you know, we've been going for just over an hour now, so no sense in waiting till the end of our Game Awards discussion. We could just talk about, that was how they opened the show. New Xbox with Hellblade 2. They closed the show with Michelle Rodriguez, Vin Diesel, and a new Fast and the Furious entry to their, what they're making seem like is a canon part of the story. A game. And it's called Fast and the Furious Crossroads, and it looks like a PS3 game.
Yes, it does. I also wonder if this is going to, like, piss off people that are actually into the story of Fast and the Furious, because I gave up on story after, like, 2 and never looked back.
That's probably the one good thing I can say about this game, is that it looks more akin to what I associate with to be like the Fast and the Furious than what this Hobbs and Shaw and freaking all these weird ass later entry movies turned into. I'm just like, isn't this about street racing? Like,
right?
I mean, I know they have
what
to make
used
it
to be
interesting,
about.
but that bombastic, like fucking helicopters and driving cars into a skyscraper and then out of a skyscraper and then into another skyscraper.
Driving through third world countries.
Sorry for the spoilers.
Jeez.
Yeah, but yeah, that game looked like shit.
Yes. So that one looked terrible. Can I ask you though, what's your favorite Tekken game?
Tekken 3 probably. Although Tekken 7 is pretty fun. Is that a meme yet? Can somebody tell me if Michelle Rodriguez trying to pronounce Tekken, talking about how, oh yeah, we played a lot of Tekken fighting games.
We used to play a lot of the Tekken fighting games. They were great.
You just proved that you didn't play any of them.
None of them, not even one. I don't know, but the article that I'm reading here about all the world premieres that got announced.
World premiere.
Make sure to leave a note that Vin Diesel mispronounced Sekiro as Sekiro.
Oh yeah, everybody mispronounces that though.
Yes, but that one got the nod here instead of the Tekken, which I think is kind of funny.
Well, they both pronounced the name of a game wrong. That's what we really need to take away from all this. What's the article say?
It's just a list of all of the announcements, and just made a note instead of about the Tekken, about the Sekiro.
Did you
it
type
also
in?
has a tweet from Jack Ryan that said, "We have been gamers forever, and we are at the award show of our people." And then right underneath says, "Can tell they've been gamers for years because the new Fast and the Furious game looks like it plays on the SNES." And then a hilarious picture of the two of them up on stage where Vin Diesel has this face.
Really?
Yeah. It's a great shot. It's fantastic.
Can you share that in the chat, maybe?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, maybe I can find the tweet. Here we go. All right. So this that's the tweet right there. And that face is fantastic.
Oh boy.
He looks like the special kid in class that you can't make fun of because he'll beat you up.
Oh, Jesus
He
Christ.
just wants to know, can I come over and play Tekken? You know you can, buddy. You know you can.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I thought she
Straight
was
to
saying
hell.
that they played a lot of Ken fighting games at first, like Street Fighter
Right.
Ken. I'm like, well, that's
oh,
not
hey.
so bad. You said like a character's name and then
Tekken.
Tekken.
I play Tekken.
Played a lot of Tekken fighting games. What does it say on that cue
Tekken
card over there?
fight-
Tekken or
yeah.
Tekken?
Can you slow down with that?
Anyway, she's trying. Give her a break. This is Fast and the
Alright.
Furious is all they have. Leave them alone.
Yes.
Should start a
The
new
other
campaign.
exciting-
Remember when that guy got on Twitter and he was like, "Leave Britney Spears alone." Just do that. But we should just do that, but get it on the internet and cry. Be like, you guys need to leave Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez alone. Fast and the Furious is all they have. Why do you want to starve their children?
Oh my god.
I mean, whatever.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's been at least a few minutes. I have to say Canada.
Yep. My friends are from
And
Canada, and I'm
also-
Canadian, and everybody's from Canada here. Also, what?
Reggie's in the house, guys.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I love
Reggie's
when
in
we
the
were watching
house.
that, and was it you or 40? It was like, I hope Reggie says fuck now that he's not with Nintendo anymore.
I was hoping so bad, dude.
That was
He
you?
was with Nintendo, and great. He's a fantastic face of whatever company the man speaks for a living. Great, awesome. You're not with Nintendo anymore. You're clearly not going back to Nintendo because you just left there. Say fuck one time.
I like
I
how
mean-
he was just like, he's self-proclaimed. He's like, I am an ambassador for video games. It's like, I mean, yeah, you are, but you probably should let other people say that. You shouldn't say that
Right.
about yourself.
I am a great lover.
But he,
You gotta walk around saying it yourself. I mean, who's
Do-
gonna believe you?
do we want to talk about some of the winners? Or
Yeah, let's do this.
all right, man. Let's
Nothing. Now
let's.
that we know Reggie's in the house and Canada's happy, we can
mean-
actually talk about awards at an award show.
I mean, they did it where they would lead up to the most exciting one, but I feel like we're just gonna trail off and get to a point where it's like, all right, we're done reading these.
These
Yeah.
suck.
But game of the year was I thought for sure Death Stranding, and if it wasn't Death Stranding, it was gonna be Resident Evil, and wow, Sekiro.
Yeah,
I haven't played it.
man. I
I haven't
mean,
played it.
I haven't played it either, but from what I've heard, it's Dark Souls esque. That like intense fighting concentration that you need.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have a good feeling about any of those games. I haven't tried any of them. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, none of it. Haven't tried because I've seen people play it and see that you've died screen a million times already, and I've never even touched a controller.
Well,
I'm feeling that game's not for me.
I learned that I can play harder video games than I was leading myself to believe. I just can't stream them. I tried streaming Bloodborne the first time I played it, and I rage quit in 20 minutes. I was like,
Yep.
this game fucking sucks, but I was trying to like manage a stream too. I think I might put Bloodborne in, or maybe Dark Souls. I'll pick it up on the Switch or something, or wherever. And I think I'm gonna try and really focus and play it because I think I can have fun playing a game like that. Maybe I'll do Sekiro and try that.
I was gonna say, if I was gonna pick one of these up at this point, I feel like it might be Sekiro. I feel like from what I've seen of it, it's got a really cool look to it. I really dig the whole Asian and giant monster beasts kind of thing from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Rappelling around looks cool. I like that kind of different movement that you can expect. I mean, when you see Dark Souls and stuff, you always see a dude in a heavy suit of armor going up a set of, stone stairs, and that's it. That's your form of movement, is running around stairs and doing rolls and shit.
Yeah.
But this is like got a cool grapple hook and shit. I mean,
yeah, it does look.
I feel like
it does look pretty fun.
Yeah, if I was gonna try one of these more battle intensive, hard games, I think I might try this one.
Fair enough. So stuff like best community support, I don't really care. Death Stranding won for best music, and I mean, I can't really make too much of a commentary. I was so out of the loop with all these new games. I guess it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to discuss them in depth, but I mean, I was surprised that Death Stranding took the one for music.
Yeah, me too a little bit.
I thought Sayonara Wild Heart's a game that's like about... Isn't that about music?
I don't know. I did not get to that one. But, like, looking at this list, like, none of these games I had time with that I heard any amount of music. So just looking at the list for what it is, like, Kingdom Hearts, is definitely going to have a bunch of good music and, like, Disney-inspired stuff, and people love Disney. So that, I was kind of surprised didn't take it. I mean, after as long as it's been for them to finally get an official Kingdom Hearts 3, and then one of the only real opportunities we get to talk about that game on this entire list is for music.
Yeah.
So that I was kind of surprised of. Cadence of Hyrule, like a Nintendo Zelda game, like with no good music, really.
I mean, that was another rhythm-based game too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Beat Saber wasn't on there, but I guess that's like...
Those are all licensed.
Yes. But I thought that's what Death Stranding was too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I'll have to play it.
Spend enough time.
Here's your homework. Play and finish Death Stranding.
Yeah, okay.
In 1 week.
Or how about this? I'll grab the soundtrack off YouTube and give it a listen.
Nope, you got to get the full experience. You've got 1 week to play.
Be able to listen faster.
And complete in what people are calling a 60 to 80 hour game.
Well, thank God.
Disco Elysium won for best narrative. Super Smash Brothers taking the trophy home for best fighting game.
Best fighting. That one I also was kind of surprised with.
A game that was released in 2018, but didn't make the cut for the Game Awards that year. That must feel good though for them.
It does, for them to stand up for an entire year and still be remembered and recognized as the best fighting game over things like Dead or Alive 6 and Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, I didn't play Dead or Alive 6, but I'm surprised that one's on there, and Soul Calibur 6 wasn't, but I guess that was 2018 as well.
So they may have made the cut for last year.
I think Tekken 7 was also.
Tekken 7?
Yeah. Mortal Kombat also 11, though.
Did they also just miss the date?
Yeah, because that I feel like has been out for a while. As a matter of fact, I feel like I had... No,
April
I'm thinking of
3rd of this year.
Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat. I'm thinking of Mortal Kombat X, which I had when I was living in Middletown.
Yes.
Or Middlefield, whatever the hell it was. Call of Duty took the one for best audio design. Interesting. But them guns be sounding realistic.
They do.
Fire Emblem took best strategy game. I don't care about content creator of the year, but it's that dude Shroud.
I actually like Shroud.
Oh yeah.
I caught very few of his streams before he moved to Mixer, and I refuse to watch anything Mixer really. So
It's just
I didn't
Beam.
see anything.
Remember Beam?
I do remember Beam. I just remember how long that lasted. Like a good, what, 2-3 weeks, and then everybody's Twitch's things stopped getting banned all the time, and then we could all use it again.
That's right.
I do remember Beam.
I mean, that's what Mixer is now.
Yeah.
It's Beam just turned into Mixer. If you go to beam.com, it takes you to Mixer. Control for best art direction, and that's a game that I really want to play. I'm just surprised that Link's Awakening didn't win.
Yeah, because the whole thing of that was really just,
Yeah.
makeover.
But maybe the people voting at home don't like the idea of a remake taking the title. Best action game. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I get people not wanting a remake to win best art, but like if you were gonna win anything for remake, don't you think art would be it? Like, isn't art like the first major thing that people usually do in a remake?
Yes.
So, I
And
mean,
that-
you could
that-
throw
I feel like-
Resident Evil 2 in there too, and been like, here you go. How does it look? Because that game looks great too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Grease, you're talking about.
Hmm?
Is that the
No,
one?
I'm talking about Resident Evil 2.
Oh.
I'm saying you want to throw a remake in there.
Oh, right, a remake, right, yeah, exactly. But for art direction, Resident Evil 2, I don't know. I mean, I know it's the game of the art, but like art direction is how you're applying the art. I think how it works with the gameplay, right? Like art direction is
Right.
different than just like art. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
But yeah. But I think that they took it in that, grittier, grosser direction.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it's because of the hardware limits, but then you could also try and argue the same thing for Link's Awakening, that the original one didn't look that good just because they couldn't.
Right. They made it
So-
like what they imagined, probably, in their heads.
Right. And I get like the huge transition from the 2D to the 3D, making everything all cute and bubbly and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
It's great, and it's definitely a huge difference over what, I guess, if you could upscale a PlayStation or N64 Resident Evil 2. you know.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So yeah, best action game. I said it was gonna be Apex Legends, but I think in my mind I was like, it's probably gonna be Call of Duty, and then ended up being Devil May Cry 5. So that was pretty
yeah,
cool.
that was super cool.
I've never really had a bad thing to say about Devil May Cry.
Yeah, and I did think that Call of Duty or Apex was going to take it, just like you said, because there's such big games that everyone is playing.
Right.
But
Maybe everybody's
guess-
too busy playing to go vote.
right, or maybe it's the fact that people are like I mean, those are both first-person shooters, so maybe a first-person shooter isn't the best action game. I mean,
Yeah.
full of action, sure, but is it the best action that you could be doing in a game?
Yeah, action.
Where you could also have a sword and tear people up and then fly up in the air and shoot a bunch of guns and,
I always felt like
Now that sounds
action
more
game was a weird genre for video games, just because like most games you're engaging and there's a lot of action happening on screen. Like Tetris is action packed, right?
action packed.
But I think when I hear best action game, I'm thinking like action is like the movie genre applied to a video game. Like Uncharted is an action adventure game. But you could still say that that's like a modern 3D platformer as well. Like,
Okay.
it's hard to, games usually embody many types of genres. Like Call of Duty is a first-person shooter, but yeah, it's an action game. It's got an action narrative. So, but there's not a whole lot of platforming in that game or puzzle solving, you know.
Right.
Puzzle solving in Call of Duty might be like, just hold the button for the right amount of time and you solved it.
No, I'm pretty sure the puzzle solving in this one involved a bomb defusal scene. I saw more than a few clips all over the internet with that. Cut the red wire exactly when I say.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Click, cut the wire. Boom! Oh, she was supposed to say go. Shit. Try it again. Do that like 8 times till you get through all the wires. So yeah.
So
that
that's
was the puzzle for that game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like some of these, like Devil May Cry 5, I mean, looking at all of these, I didn't spend any time with Astral Chain, and I know very little about Metro.
Mm-hmm.
But like Metro, Gears 5, Call of Duty, Apex, like all those games, you're running around with a gun like the whole time, aren't you?
Yeah. There's your action.
Your action is you're shooting guns. Like I get it, that's cool. And Devil May Cry has guns too, but they also have like
jumping and fucking sword play,
combos. And
that deserves to win. I think.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games that are great and fly just under the radar of all the other huge games all the time. Like if all the other games, like, you know, all the Rockstar games and all the Naughty Dog games, they're flying at this AAA level, these guys are like a AA plus.
Yeah, okay.
They're like right there. They're just getting outshadowed every time they put a game out.
Right.
But still solid work every time.
Definitely. I thought Games for Impact was a neat category, and not surprising that game Grease won. I mean, I don't know what it's about, but it looks like it's one of those really, you know, hits home.
And this one, like I said before the Game Awards ever happened, super interested.
Yeah.
Every year they come up with these games that are like these weird
concepts,
life lessons or meanings or
journey
deeper to it. And I was interested in this one before it started, saw it on a bunch of lists, heard people liked it, but still have no idea what it's about.
I did pick one up. I picked up a copy on Limited Run for PS4.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I want to play it.
Can I just say, Limited Run is starting to get on my nerves.
Yeah, I saw that you tweeted at them the other day.
Yeah, that's not the first time.
Did you open up a ticket with them?
No, I didn't. I just reached out to them because I just want to know. Oh shit! What's going on? Christmas duty is ringing.
Oh,
that's my daily reminder to move the elf on the shelf.
Oh, nice. You want to go do that?
Yeah. No, I'll get it later.
Don't forget.
Oh no! Wait. Nope, Mrs. already did it.
Oh, cool.
Forgot.
Where is it now?
On the door.
Your kids don't watch this, do they?
Just the boy.
And he knows.
And he already knows. He's in on it.
What about the
other ones? Mike ever hear back from Limited Run? Fuck no, I did not. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. Let me check my Twitter right now.
Okay.
Right, Limited Run.
Check
your
live
last
tweeting.
chance. We're doing it live.
Do you see that message when I go live now?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Good. The reason that it wouldn't save before is because I did F*** for fuck. And
right.
Twitch didn't like that. They were like, nah, you can't put that. What? I can't even censor it? Sons of bitches.
Damn. So, officially...
No.
No. There's no news from Limited Run. But
shocker. I wouldn't be surprised if they ban you next.
Yeah, I know. But instead of answering me, they did put out this very important tweet, if I may just read this. Limited Run wants to let you guys know. Well, we know there are 2 things the Vita is still good for. limited run releases and porn.
Yeah.
So that's the level that they're on. They just want you to either buy their games or buy adult material
For the Vita?
for the Vita, because that's all it's good for now. Very family friendly.
I don't know.
Isn't that
Wait, that's a tweet
clip the
from
message?
Limited Run?
from Limited Run?
I
Just
just
to let you know.
This isn't very professional. I don't want to interrupt the stream for this, but I got to show you something, Mike. Hold on.
All right, let's see it. Yeah, so still waiting to hear back about Limited Run and Jay and Silent Bob Ball Brawl.
What were you saying?
Said still waiting to hear back.
Oh.
Still want to know when I'm getting my Mall Brawl. Oh shit! Them Rocket Birds.
Didn't you say you liked this game?
For the Vita, I did. I played the first one all the way through. I got the second one and started it.
The
They
second,
added a few new mechanics, and I was like, eh.
the second
never got
one,
through that one.
the second one is coming out with the PS Vita release 2 days after Christmas.
Nice.
Also on
Did you
PS4.
play that one yet?
But I just
No?
found the charging cable for my Vita. It was in one of the last boxes from moving in here that just never got opened. Found our awesome potato peeler, and my you could tell that box was packed last. Like, oh shit, grab this. Oh, and this too.
wait.
Throw this in here. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
that
charged
game is-
up now. So maybe I'll
That game
play
is
it.
definitely fun.
Is it like a Super Meat Boy type of thing?
No, it's just like a
Angry
standard
Birds?
like
Oh, oh, like a run and
it's,
gun. Metal Slug
no,
kinda?
There's platform puzzling, I want to say.
Oh, okay. But there's enemies and you shoot them.
Yeah, there's enemies and you get guns and you shoot them, and then there's like, I'm pretty sure that there's like little missions that you do in between where you get little time sections where you have to like blow up one of the enemy ships or something. They have like airships. So
Okay.
you like drop in and like kill all the people, get to the bomb, set the bomb, get the hell out of there, then jump out of the sky. And then you have to do like a shooter section where you're falling and there's
Oh,
other
okay,
chickens
okay.
falling with you and you got to shoot them. Oh, it's great. Great.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah.
Pop, Pop says if it makes you feel any better, I got Golf Story about 3 months after this stated date from time of pre-order. Pop, I waited a very long time for my Golf Story. I got the one with the trophy, the collector's edition. Took forever. I mean, I haven't even opened it yet. I do want to play that game. Did you see? That was one of the things that got announced for the Nintendo Indies, or Indies, whatever, was Sports Story. So it's like a sequel to Golf Story, but it's all different kinds of sports. Looks pretty cool. Mine is
I was really-
sealed.
I was really intrigued with Sports Story because I never played Golf Story, but I felt like that was not the first game that night to use like multiple sports mixed into one at the same time. There was another one that I saw too that was like just wanted to mix all the sports together. I forget what the other one was.
I don't.
But yeah, if you watch the that one was at the Nintendo Indie World Showcase too. Sports Story.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you said the.
Game Awards. No.
All right. Yeah,
But there
Yeah, but
was.
if-
Go
if
ahead.
you watch that trailer, there's a scene in there where there's a dude like hitting a tennis ball over a net into a goal
With a
it's
golf
like-
club.
blocked by a goalie
Yeah.
with a golf club.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like this weird combination. Like, okay, we know you've played sports games before, but what if we took all the sports and put them in a drink, and then you drank it, and then threw up, and this is what you got?
You got Wii Sports,
Right, but
which was awesome.
if your Wii Sports,
Oh,
was
like
corrupt-
leaked into each other?
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you were playing bowling and knocking down outfielders,
It would be pretty fun, though, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, I'm not arguing that, but I feel like it wasn't the first game. Like, I feel like I saw another one that had the same thing. That was like trying to mix sports.
Luigi's Mansion won for best family game.
You mean best Nintendo game?
Right. Sorry.
Nintendo. Which Nintendo game will win?
I was pleasantly surprised when Crash Team Racing took it for best sports/racing game.
I was extremely surprised with that. I mean,
If that game plays anything, I haven't played that one either, but if that plays anything like the original game, that's a fantastic game.
Right. All right, so looking at the list of the 3 racing games that we have, that's clearly the best racing game.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
F1 or Dirt Rally or Crash Team Racing. I mean, the best. But the real problem that we had is that they put it in a sports category. So we were up against FIFA 20.
I thought that was the absolute winner.
God knows there are so many FIFA fans out there.
That's another category where those guys are all just playing FIFA. They're not voting for shit. They're like, I'm not voting for shit. It's time I got to take away from playing FIFA.
Right.
Therefore, exactly. FIFA will not win any awards, even though it probably deserves it. It probably is the best sports game, but whatever.
Because they're not watching these award shows. They're playing FIFA.
Right. They don't care about video games. Just FIFA happens to be on video game consoles. If you could play FIFA and, like, I don't know, a coloring book, then that's where it would be played. Call of Duty for best mobile game. Like, go fuck that yourself with that category. Should have been What the Golf. Period.
Yes. I think so, too.
Apex Legends took it for best multiplayer game, beating out the obvious choice that it should have been of Tetris 99. Fortnite, obviously best ongoing game. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, and as much as I want to argue against it, I really feel like I can't even. Like, those guys earned that one. Best ongoing. That game gets more fucking updates than than I take pisses in a week.
Yeah. Beat Saber for best VR game. I never played it, but I own it, I think. And I want to play it.
And I feel like everyone that owns VR has, almost everyone. That's like you get a Wii, you get Wii Sports, you get a VR, you get Beat Saber.
I'm going to see if it's there. I know I've got some crazy VR game, but I don't know if it's that. Wait, Beat Saber, that's only on VR, right?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah. Nope. No Beat Saber.
I have to pick that up. I think it's digital only, isn't it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's gonna really annoy me.
So, best performance.
Yeah.
Went to Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, and that was one of those little quick, here's the nominees and here's who won next. And it's like, couldn't send somebody up there to get that one?
Right.
Because he wasn't there?
Even if they weren't there, I mean, somebody should say something about voice acting in video games. I mean, it's gone above and beyond voice acting at this point. We're capturing people's likenesses and their movements and things like that. It's so much. It's asking a person to put themselves in a video game at this point. So to skip right over it, best performance, yeah, this guy did great. Moving on.
Well, hopefully they mail him a trophy for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. Sit on a shelf to collect dust. The hell is this for? So the player's voice. That was the award chosen 100% by the fans because apparently these other ones weren't.
Then how is it not Star Wars? Nintendo nerds.
Japan is a very populated place.
All those Nintendo dorks.
All those Nintendo nerds.
Indie game, RPG, independent. Wow, that's that same game.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Boom.
So
right in a
Disco
row.
Elysium. Have you ever heard of this company before? This ZA/UM?
No.
Zaum? Me neither.
But man, Death Stranding won for best game direction, but then Sekiro won for best action adventure game as well. So best action adventure game and game of the year.
Yep.
And all these esports awards, I'm sure I don't give a shit. Do you?
Yeah. And then a bunch of esports crap that really comes down to, yes, League of Legends is still a thing people watch on the internet.
Right.
Simple as that.
But yeah, there was a lot of shit announced and a lot of teasers shown. Nothing really too spectacular other than the opener and the closer, I think. I mean, they showed, what was it, Wolf Among Us 2, which was, from allegedly a defunct studio, Telltale Games, but somehow this game is coming out, so that's interesting. You had No More Heroes 3 got shown.
We got a behind the music from Cyberpunk 2077.
Which was cool. That was a
They're
neat
going to have
little
a
thing.
lot of awesome artists on that.
Yep.
So they're really trying to push that one as AAA as they can.
Yep. I want to play that. That looks fun. I hope it's good. I really do. I hope the hype train doesn't fucking demolish it.
Then can we just talk about the cringe for a minute?
No, there was a lot of
We
cringe.
had like a solid 3 minutes where Jeff was talking to the Apex legend.
Oh yeah. Oh,
on the screen?
Man.
Okay,
he was talking
so-
to the character from the game.
So he runs the show, right?
It's
This is
his thing. It's his gig.
It's his baby, right?
He could have
And
done
then-
whatever he wanted.
So what he wanted to do was to have a character from this game who thinks he's a smartass be up on screen
Having
to talk shit to Jeff.
Right.
Awful.
It
Just
was
awful. Please,
it was pretty
Please.
awkward.
please, don't do it again. Just don't do it. So to break that awkwardness, thank God we get rid of Jeff and we bring out the Muppets.
Oh,
Wow.
I forgot about that. And then the Muppets presented an award with the goose, a Muppet version of the goose from Untitled Goose Game, and the goose was honking during these guys' acceptance speech. Well, I mean, he wasn't really. He honked once, and like once is one time too many.
Yes.
To be honking during somebody's acceptance speech.
Yes.
You get the
And
Muppets up
whose
there
acceptance
staring at you.
Whose acceptance speech did we interrupt for this? So here we go, reading from this article again from I guess CNET.
Yep.
Oh God, they made a goose Muppet. This absolutely rules. I'm sorry, but this rules. No, it does not. They're here to announce the Games for Impact Award. So a game
right.
that's supposed to be deep and meaningful
Right.
is led on by 2 Muppets and a goose.
Muppet. 2 Muppets and a goose Muppet.
Wow. Okay. Don't take me seriously then. That's fine.
Yeah, right?
Totally fine.
Yeah, that was fucked up. That was fucking
Yeah.
weird.
So there was some seriously awkward moments. I mean, not to mention that every couple minutes they had to remind us Reggie's,
Reggie's in the house, motherfucker.
and we had to check how Canadian the audience was this time.
Answer: extremely.
Extremely Canadian. If you're not, you actually weren't let in the door.
You could come inside the venue, but you had to be accompanied by 2 Canadians to keep the ratio at least
Right.
2 to 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so There was some pretty
You
cringy
probably had a
stuff.
pretty heavy 5-to-1 ratio, Canadians to everybody else.
Easily.
So that kind of wraps up the Game Awards. I've got an interesting question for you. What game, from what you know so far, wins Game of the Year for 2020? I mean, there's going to be some that we haven't heard of yet, but we almost know that unless somebody comes out with a surprise, that games released in 2020 we pretty much know what to expect out of 2020, right? You got Cyberpunk, you got Final Fantasy Remake, you've got what is that tweet?
Oh, you want to see that? This guy saw the best part of the show.
And you guys, somebody said that while we were watching.
Yeah, Pop caught it while we were watching.
This guy's sleeping in the audience.
It's the guy sleeping in the audience.
That's great.
Passed out.
That is great.
Now, those are the people right there. That guy right there. Those are the ones working on the games. The ones where these award shows mean something. He just got out of work 10 minutes ago. And he's there. And now he's passed out.
Right. I love this picture.
That is great.
It really is. So good. Sleeping man at the Game Awards.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and they had a bunch of musical guests, too.
Do you see this response to it?
No, I didn't.
Scroll down one to the next tweet. Ah!
Oh, man.
God bless whoever did that.
That is amazing. Truly a miracle worker. Wow. That's good.
So funny. I would say audio listeners, let me describe, but there are no audio listeners yet.
Nah, not really.
That was so funny.
Yeah, so not everybody was having a great time there. Oh, what do you think about this one? Is this the next hype train that everyone's going to try and get on? With like
wearing
no information?
Wearing a pin of your own self on your lapel?
No.
Like Reggie did?
That was fucking cool, man. You don't fuck with Reggie.
Yeah. Okay.
Just waiting, dude. The day he drops an F-bomb, I'm gonna fucking shit my pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, this Ghost of Tsushima.
I forgot to bring that up. That's right. That I'm excited for that game.
But here's my question: why?
Why am I?
I mean, yeah, we've gotten 2 trailers out of it so far.
Yeah,
and
I guess
one was like almost nothing.
It reminds me of Tenchu, and I'm hoping it's gonna be like Tenchu. So I'm hoping it's gonna be like one of these Souls games where the principle of fighting is still the same, like attack when you should attack, and block and parry when you should block and parry, and dodge when you should dodge, but just not as brutally hard, like a little more forgiving, like God of War. God of War, the fights are like that. You have to be aggressive, but if it's giving you an indicator, they'll take a swing, and if the ring around their weapon is yellow, then that means you can parry it. But if it's red, you better get the fuck out of the way. Like, I'm sure Dark Souls is relying on you recognizing the animation, and they're not giving you an indicator like that. And that's what makes it a little bit harder. So, like, give me that style of gameplay and just not make it so brutal, and then it will be actually like a joy to play. That's what I'm hoping for. I remember Tenchu, Stealth Assassins on the PS1, and I fucking... Oh, man, I love that game.
Yeah.
So good.
I was going to say, so, like, isn't that kind of just sounds like a slightly easier Sekiro?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't played Sekiro. I'm the worst at playing video games.
At playing the new games?
I'm getting better.
Yeah, I feel
but
that.
I'm working on it. I
Better
have so
than
much...
me, man.
I have so much backlog, so much, like things that I really want to play.
Yeah, I hear that. Tell you, man, until they sneak a new game into over, like, we keep playing the same thing. Be like, ooh, what's this new mode? Ooh.
Yeah, right.
God of War? That's weird mode. Let's check it out.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? What were we just talking about? Oh,
Ghost of
Tsushima. So yeah, you're not really feeling any hype from that? I get why.
You know what it is? I've been so worried about hype on games ever since we had the No Man's Sky debacle. It's like any game that gets enough hype now, it starts pushing me the other direction.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, should we really be excited about this game? What have we really seen? What do we really know? And then it just starts worrying me. So it's really just concern over, the very little bit of information that we have, and people seem so excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I worry. Just like the new Doom. Like they showed the Doom trailer.
Yeah.
I'm worried though. There's so
I
many
hear
things. Even in that trailer, if I picked it apart, I could be like, see this? I don't like that. See that? I don't like that. See this? But it could be fine. It could just be me. I'm just super cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah. Hey. It is what it is. You gotta take everything at face value until you get the sticks in your hands.
Till it's in your hand, yeah.
Jinjo, welcome back. How are you? Well, we're closing in on the 2-hour mark. We've been live for 10 minutes shy of 2 hours. Do you want to get into the state of play?
Yeah, I'm down because the Ghost of Tsushima also had its first trailer at the state of play.
Well, it wasn't the first trailer, but it was teased that there would have been a new trailer at the Game Awards.
Okay, so they had a teaser there then?
That's what it was. It was a 30-second,
They had a thing that was also part of the thing.
They didn't really show anything. I think, without going into everything that they announced, because, I mean, we could talk about all of it. They had Kingdom Hearts DLC, which is okay. It is what it is. A game where you play as Predator, which looks like it could be fun, but I was so turned off by Evolve and Friday the 13th. I know you like Friday the 13th. That wasn't my type of game, like this asymmetrical shooters.
Yeah, so actually, if you just want to blast through these, I have little notes of them.
Okay.
So, first off,
the Goose.
Untitled Goose Game.
On PS4. No-brainer.
Love it, man. Bring the Goose everywhere.
That's a no-brainer.
Fucking, the Goose is the next fucking puzzle game that everyone needs to play.
The Goose is the next
Tetris,
GOAT. And that's
awesome. Now play Goose.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right, so that's great. I love that. Hands down.
Do you think the Goose is one of the best animals in video games? That was a little side topic I was thinking about. Goat Simulator. That goat is... the game's not the greatest game, but that goat is kind of a badass.
That goat, he is.
He's a fucker.
Yeah, I feel like it falls into that same category, like the indie puzzle game, like the puzzle mascots. Because I would put the Goose right there with the goat, right there with Bread. Like all those games. Even though you were just a piece of bread, like the adventures that you had with that bread. And the story that was caused by you just trying to move around and get your goal accomplished, like driving that dude crazy, like that made you an evil piece of bread.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's an awesome character. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like that game.
So, Bread, Goat, the Goose.
The Mosquito.
All of them. I love these indie puzzlers.
The Mosquito.
The Mosquito. Yeah.
Jinjo, I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for the host, by the way. But there's got to be more, right? But there's obviously more. But when you think of the coolest animals in video games, nobody talks about Bubsy or Earthworm Jim. But
Bubsy, I hold close to my heart though.
But Conker was cool.
Conker, you do hear about? Yep. But then I wouldn't put Conker with the other two though.
Why? Because he's an anthropomorphic talks and walks like a human, or does that where we draw the line? Like, because where else
No,
do you
I don't-
play?
You know what? I don't think it's even that. I think the fact that he talks puts him in a different category, but not because he talks, but because of what he says, because he came from the Attitude Era. So I would put him right there with Crash, right there with, I dare not say Bubsy, but like, I don't want to say Mario either. Mario seems like even he could be a little too clean cut.
Yeah, but Wario maybe. Wario.
Like, the PlayStation, maybe, like that edgy 90s
You are
crew.
not ready.
Yeah. Spyro and all them, like,
right. Yeah.
all those. I see all those fitting together. I feel like it's like indie puzzle games, like those odd puzzle games.
All right, so are there any other ones where you play as an animal that's actually acts the way that animal would act? Like, I know that there's this weird game that I have called Urban Jungle, I think it is, where you play as all different kinds of animals, but it fucking sucks. It's so bad. There was one that I had.
Echo.
Echo the dolphin is cool.
Echo the dolphin.
Yeah.
It's a dolphin that acts like a dolphin.
Yep. That's a good one. Huh.
But again, that seems more like as much puzzle as in that game. I feel like there's action combat to it too. There's no combat in the other ones.
But I think that game works in this category of like, I don't think it should be defined by gameplay. I think it should be defined by do you play as an animal and are you limited to kind of what that animal's capabilities are?
Right.
I mean, the goat is an exception. Like, I haven't seen a lot of goats like strap on rockets and fly around, but it could happen, I suppose, theoretically.
By themselves, no. With the help of some crazy, probably Western Europeans, sure.
Games where you play as
here we go.
Animals.
Rocket birds. Those are all chickens.
Yeah.
They definitely don't fit into the act like an animal, play like an animal category, but
Yeah, see, that's where it makes it hard to Shelter 2. What's that? The player starts off as a pregnant lynx. Continue onto the journey of parenthood after giving birth, nurturing her cubs and raise them to survive in vast wilderness. All right.
Okay.
HK Project is if you love cats and Blade Runner.
What?
Yeah.
Cats and Blade Runner?
You play as a cat, an ordinary cat with no extraordinary abilities, as it seems, exploring the busy street in a city of cyberpunk-esque Hong Kong populated by droids. Yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool. I want to play as this cat. Wow, it looks really cool.
Does it really?
It's new. It's not even out yet. Let me... Here. Go to this.
Let's give this a look. See how.
And I'm gonna pull it up on the. Here we go. You see what I'm seeing? It's just a GIF of gameplay, but it looks really good. You seeing it?
Yeah.
Seasons after fall lets you play as a fox.
It's a super interesting art design that they have for it.
Yeah. Untitled game about being an asshole goose. This is before it came out. Yeah. That's what it should be called. Not Untitled Goose Game. It should be called Asshole Goose Game. Hey man, geese are terrible people.
They really are.
I liked the how they showed it in was it State of Play or Game Awards, where they just showed the goose just piling up fucking shit in the river.
Yep.
It's like
This is State of Play.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep. That goose won that entire level. Collect all the stuff.
So back to the list. Did you have any opinions on Spellbreak, that MMORPG?
MMORPG. Is that what that is? So I didn't look into anything further than what we got out of State of Play.
It's an MMO.
So from what I gathered from State of Play, it looked like a 3v3.
They're calling it MMO
shooter.
where you fight with magic.
Right.
So.
All right. So I didn't.
Yeah. It doesn't really do it for me.
MMO. It felt like a team-based, like 3v3 magic shooter. Is what it felt like to me. So
maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention to it.
Sure.
I can almost
team-based
guarantee that I will never play that game.
Yeah, probably not.
But Dreams, on the other hand, I already own early access, so when the full version comes out, I got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm super curious to see what people do with it.
Because next time you come over,
like
you should check it out. Because
anything.
it's pretty impressive what's already up there in early access. Yeah. And I've still got access to the early access, but that was the last day to buy it, was the 7th of December.
Right.
And now it's coming out February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Nice. Watching it, like, I was amazed at the variety of the kinds of games that you could do.
There's some amazing fucking talent out there.
They had everything from platformers to racers to, everything, and in all different styles.
It was cool. It was really cool. I mean, somebody already recreated PT, like, almost shot for shot in Dreams.
Damn.
All the sound, the graphics look almost identical. It plays, like, exactly the same. It's unbelievable.
So, I mean, really, what is this thing, then? Just a...
Dreams is a tool set that you can...
Game making?
It's giving you... Yeah, it's basically giving you access to their tool set. And then giving you easy ways to code it to do things that you want it to do. And you can record your own sound for it and pretty much make a full game.
Right.
And I suppose if you wanted to, you could make several different levels and chain them all together and make like a full fucking 10-hour experience. Or, I mean, really, the possibilities are kind of open-ended. You can kind of do whatever you want. You don't even necessarily have to make games. You could technically make movies with it.
Right. I mean, seeing what people do with, like, these Maker games.
It's incredible.
Mario Maker is like...
I know, a Mario Maker...
Never in my life.
Yeah.
The puzzles they can come up with standard blocks and springs and things, like...
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Like, I never even thought of having these mechanics in a Mario game, let alone with all Mario items.
It's like fucking take a shower. Move out of mom's basement, bro.
And then to take the Mario part of that and say, no, this is completely optional. You can do anything that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
I mean, how many community levels would you say you've ever touched or played on Little Big Planet?
Ooh, Little Big Planet. I played very little of.
But you did play
community levels, probably less than a dozen total.
But I mean, there was some amazing stuff done with that game too. It was just, I remember seeing that and being like, we're not really ready for this. And some people were, and I had a lot of fun playing. I had fun making levels in that game. You would think that it would suck with a PS3 controller, and it just wasn't that bad. And with this Dreams, you can use the 2 Move controllers, and you don't have to be in VR. You could just sculpt with the 2 controllers. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty cool. I'm excited
That
about
is super
Dreams.
cool.
I'm excited to see what people do. It pretty much. This is what I think. This will help. It's not going to be a system seller, but if they say PlayStation 5 ships with this installed into it already, then
Oh yeah.
you're
Because
basically
then you could.
your PlayStation
could-
5 ships with millions
game.
of games. Literally millions.
Yep.
It's going to be millions.
Which would be great, because the first thing that I would look for, if that was the case, would be to download a PlayStation copy of Wii Sports on Dreams to play on my PS5.
Do you think Microsoft has enough money? Wait, to play what? Sorry.
To play Wii Sports
Oh,
on my PS5
yeah.
through Dreams.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Because you know it'll be there.
Yes,
Somebody's making
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
without a doubt.
They don't even have to think. They just have to recreate something that they already know inside and out.
Yeah. And
That train's coming from my microphone.
The other thing that I wonder is, like, are they gonna have a problem with people copying things? You know, like you said, somebody remade PT. So are we gonna now start having like copyright strikes against your games because
Nope.
you remade all of Zelda 1? You
No,
know?
because Media Molecule and Sony are selling you the toolkit, and that's it, and access to the community. But the community's not charging anybody for shit. So Media Molecule's not charging you to play that game. I mean,
Right.
maybe they'll try and get it taken down, but I don't know that they really have the grounds to do so.
I mean, I don't know that they do either, but if you took a game made in Dreams and it looked exactly like a game that Nintendo made and brought it to court and were like, these people were passing this off as our product. Like,
Yeah, I suppose if you could prove that people are confused and are therefore, or maybe if you could prove that people are buying this to play that game specifically and
Instead of
avoid
buying
playing
that.
but
that'd be a tough sell.
I don't know who makes like a game that basically nobody's gonna make the entirety of Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Is that what the game is called? No, Jedi Fallen Order. Sorry.
you
Nobody's making that entire game in Dreams, and if they do, maybe you'll see Disney lay down the hammer.
Right.
Maybe. But I don't know that if I want to play Jedi Fallen Order and I want to get away with it because I already own Dreams, right? So now I can get, like, am I going to count on the fact that this is really the experience that the developers of that game wanted to sell me in the first place? Or am I going to really
Right.
go and get the real thing? Like, I think any company would have a hard time proving that these products would be taking money out of their pocket.
I'm sure they could try, though.
They'll try. They might try, but it might cost them more money to try. That's what they got lawyers for. But like, hey, lawyers, do we have a case here? No? All right.
Not
Are you
yet.
sure?
Wait till we get another couple 10,000 more uploads of the same thing. Then maybe.
Maybe. But yeah, Dreams looks cool. I played a little bit of Dreams, and next time you come over, you should check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Super curious about that.
Speaking of Superliminal was a neat looking game that was shown at Sony's State of Play. That I like games that this is like you're talking about, like an indie looking style puzzle game that you have to think a little bit and has cool mechanics.
And spoiler alert, this was my favorite game from the State of Play.
Really?
I thought this thing was super fucking cool. So
Yeah,
it's
you
like
know what?
an indie puzzler that's like a spatial puzzle game.
Right, optical
So you
illusions.
use depth perception and things and spatial placement and awareness to create items, to enlarge items, to shrink items, to solve puzzles. So the first thing that you see is a PS4 or 5 We don't get a
Dual
good look
shock,
at it.
yep.
Controller. And they pick it up off a pedestal and move it towards them. And when they do,
It gets
becomes
bigger in
too
their
big
view, right?
to sit on the pedestal. Interesting.
Comes
And they
crashing
pick it
down,
up
yeah.
again and put it way up in the air so it looks like it's way in the background, and then boom, it falls. But when it does, it's the same size as when it was in front of you. But now that means that it's huge way back there.
Yes. Yeah, it's cool.
That is super cool.
There is a game similar to that on Apple Arcade right now, but it's really just lining the camera up to make things appear, like things that are floating, make it appear that they're somewhere.
Find the picture.
Yeah, it's really not that hard to do, right? Where this looks like you actually have to think a little bit, and you could maybe make that controller so big that you can't make it small again and be forced to reset and try again. You know what I mean? Like something.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool looking game. I wonder if we could take a look at just the trailer for that, because I was intrigued.
Like I said, the spatial awareness, like when he tries to pull that checkered cube out of the sky. I've seen those games where you have to like rotate the blob of stuff until it makes a picture, and those are kind of neat. Because it's like you look at it one certain way and this whole thing works, which is a cool idea. Like when you see people that do those depth perception drawings on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And you look at it, it looks like it's crawling out of the paper, but then if you turn it around the other way, it looks like somebody stretched the shit out of a photo and smeared it on a piece of paper.
Right. Here's the Superliminal trailer. Apparently this game's already out on PC. So you can play it right now if you wanted to.
I guess I'll have to take a look at
But
that.
it's coming to PS4 April of 2020. I would say that's a DualShock 4. See, it's already bigger.
Amazing. It's like,
Warning.
and that's all that it is. It's just where
This is Dr.
you
Glenn
pick it up
Pierce.
and you have it at its size. But depending on where you place that size in the room, make the thing huge.
You are
Yeah.
now beyond conventional psychospatial limits.
Don't be alarmed.
You are exhibiting signs consistent with an
Just-
increase in fear.
It looks like it's very much trying to have like the
You're
the
and further out than anyone has ever come
what's the word I'm looking for?
that you won't get to
Give you the feeling like Portal gave you, like with that disembodied voice talking to you, and
Yes. I definitely got the Portal feel from the whole thing.
smash them up, crash them up.
Man. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun. I'm curious to see if I could play that on the computer as soon as we end this.
Yeah, right?
They announced a game for PSVR called Paper Beast, which probably was my least favorite thing that they showed. Just looks like it's not ready to be played by humans yet.
No. The notes that I have for that one, that it was VR. So that's cool because more VR games. But it is like super high res environments with super low poly count animals that you interact with.
Right, when I see games like that, this is what I automatically think. They set out to make a game, they got so far, and they said making all these environments was hard. Now we have to make all these character models. That's going to be even harder. But we do have these wireframes, and look, if I apply these filters, this is what it looks like. It looks kind of cool, almost like origami. Let's call this game Paper Beast instead of like Nature Beast or whatever the fuck it was gonna be called. Like it almost seems like
anything else.
it seems like a lazy kind of tactic to be like, well, we still have core gameplay mechanics, but making dinosaurs is hard, so we're gonna just have paper dinosaurs. It's like, well, all right, keep your fucking paper dinosaurs then, because this just looks
Let me
like.
know when you get the real dinosaurs.
Let me know when you look like you have a game that isn't just about like some dumb bullshit, like for the sake of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say like have a like is that game really gonna? It looks like they want you to feel like, oh, this ambient music and this desolate looking land. It's going to be so jarring, and it's going to be one of those, like you were talking about, like one of these profound experiences. It's got this message to deliver. Like, does it really, or is it just going to be some cliche, like, oh, I was lost but now I'm found type of bullshit, and now we figured out what the meaning of existence is? Like, no, I don't need any more of that pretentiousness in my life.
It's going to be like the story of No Man's Sky. Like, what's the real goal here? Oh, you have to find the center of the universe.
Oh,
like,
so what, they're going to hype it up and then release it and it's going to suck? The same story as No Man's Sky?
Probably. The one thing that I do have to give the game, though, watching the trailer from State of Play, was the puzzle solving with the changing environments. Like throwing sand on top of ice to catch traction. Like, I feel like this could be the one thing that they pull from the game to put in other games to make it super interesting. Like, never have I played a Mario game and been like, oh man, this fucking ice level sucks, but if I just like
Sucks butt.
this power switch and all these blocks disappear and all this sand fell down here, and then all of a sudden I don't slip and slide anymore.
That'd be cool.
So I do have to give it to him there. I think the changing environments to solve puzzles is like a super cool thing.
Yeah.
Or changing the environment to change the physics. You know, like I said, the ice sliding and everything.
I agree. That's an interesting perspective. But still,
But after that,
can't ignore the blatant
Using
disregard
low-poly.
for... Yeah, exactly. It's just like cheating. It's like video game creation using cheat codes.
Yes. That's some shit you find in the lower half of the community.
Right, yeah. Are you into Kingdom Hearts at all?
You know, I'm not. The most Kingdom Heart experience that I have is that it's constantly in the GDQ runs. So I've seen the games completed a few times.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, like an RPG, like if you're gonna get kids into an RPG, like to go Disney and to go Square.
Yeah. Do you like Disney characters?
I do like Disney.
Do you like Final
Their
Fantasy characters?
I like their aggressive business model.
Wow. Look who just popped in the chat. I haven't seen that name since like The Last of Us Uncharted 4 demo days. The Wrestler. Wow. Welcome back, man. It's been a minute.
Been a few.
Yeah, this stream does contain scenes of explicit itchiness, so hope you brought your insect repellent.
Forgot all about that.
What's going on, man? We're getting close to wrapping it up. We're just finishing talking about this Sony State of Play. We spent the whole first half of this thing talking about the Game Awards, actually the Xbox, the new Xbox, and then the Game Awards. So just, Kingdom Hearts getting some DLC, not that big of an announcement. It's bound to happen.
And I feel like Kingdom Hearts is one of those games where you could just like pick a new Disney villain. Okay, great. Now fight him. Okay, now throw a haphazard story together as to why you have to go fight this Disney villain. And people are going to be happy with that.
Sure. But, the way that I look at it is if you really want to get the whole story, you've got a shit ton of games that you have to play, and they're all RPGs, so they're all going to take quite a while to finish. I think you could pick up any one of these games and just start playing it at any point in time. Or you could play through every single one of them, and no matter which option you choose, you're not going to know what the fuck is going on because it's such a convoluted story, and it's just like, I don't know, they do that weird thing where the acting is very clearly done in a vocal booth. There's no real actors acting out these things. It sounds very like I would say the Disney voices are great, but the Final Fantasy characters, in all games, they kind of suffer from that localization where they're trying to, change. Oh, don't get me started on that. Final Fantasy X.
Oh man.
But so yeah, I don't know if I'll ever see the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC, or if I'll ever even play Kingdom Hearts 3. But it does look like a fun game. I feel like it could have been a little more polished for the amount of time that people had to wait for it, and what the consoles that it's on. But
we say that, but at the same time, like you just said, there's how many like other, not 1, 2, and 3, but like all other Kingdom Hearts games. So it's not like they waited and hadn't, it's not
true.
like we got a Portal 2 and we're still waiting for Portal 3,
Right. It's a little bit different.
They got a 2, and then they got a this one, and then that one, and yeah, what do you got? Huh? So, yeah, but I do think that Kingdom Hearts, like as a franchise itself, is a super good idea to combine Disney and to combine Square characters and like get kids into the JRPG genre with familiar people like that. Like even my kids see Kingdom Hearts stuff and go, "Oh, I know those characters." So,
yeah, it is really fun when you're playing that game and then a new character from a Disney movie that you've known your whole life shows up. It's like, oh wow, I actually know this character's backstory. So that's cool. That's kind of a first for a Final Fantasy game. You meet people and then they have to spend the next like 40 minutes telling you their backstory. It's like, God, I didn't really want to read today. Played the wrong game.
yes.
So that about sums that up. I think, if we're going to blast through the rest of these, Predator Hunting Grounds looks cool. Like I said, asymmetrical shooters, not my thing. What do you think about Predator Hunting Grounds?
I think that Predator looked super cool until they hit me with the credits. First thing you see, Fox Studios. Second thing you see, IllFonic. Fuck me, dude. IllFonic put out the Friday the 13th game, and that thing was so fucking broken at launch, and for the longest time was full of trolls and disgusting grossness of people being like, "Oh, they fixed that thing. Did you hear? Oh yeah, so now you can break this thing. Let's go do that." And that's all that it was for like the first 2-3 months, maybe. Like a constant like, where is everyone? Oh, they're on the roof. You can't get on the roof. There's no ladder, there's no jump. No. And they're on the roof. Like what are we supposed to do now? Nothing. We just sit here and wait until Jason gets bored and kills himself, or the match ends and we all win. It's not fun.
That's not fun. Do you think that...
So to do that with Predator...
But do you think that they know what they're doing now and they won't have a lot of those issues this time around?
The only thing that I can hope is that Fox is going to throw money and people at this and
resources.
Be like,
right.
We don't need, because the other one was IllFonic, but it was also Gun Media. So you're already working with a small team.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Jason is, it is what it is. He's a slow-moving, machete-wielding, big, burly dude. Like, the Predator is climbing trees, got all these fucking mechanics, lasers, and fucking
super
heat
stealthy
vision. So... maybe we get a whole new host of problems. Is this one? I hope they're funding it with the money they made off their last effort, and they're gonna not have to resort to crowdfunding for this one. It seems like they already got the Predator license. It looks like it's in development.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge window where they could put this thing out and just be like, it's better than Friday the 13th was at launch. And that's going to be good enough. Is it going to be... is Predator going to be the franchise that, like, makes the asymmetrical, multiplayer game, like, the thing that pops off? Like, I really don't think so.
Not for this observer.
Like, Evolve didn't do it. Even
Evolve made me
Friday
sick.
the 13th didn't do it.
Evolve made me throw up in my soup.
What is it? Dead by Daylight seems to be the one that's sticking around the hardest, isn't it? And even that one is like,
meh. I don't hear.
Got its following, but
yeah.
it's full of the horror nuts that are gonna be. Yeah, what do you got that's full of gore? Give me that.
Yeah.
After that,
I don't have a lot to say about asymmetrical shooters. I just know that you got to really be playing with your homies, I think, to make that fun. And if not, then I just would rather play. Like, you're telling me that
Right.
these 4 guys are on a team against me. Like, I don't care what the situation is. It's like, okay, my character's OP. I feel like, I don't know. I'd rather just be playing a single player game. Maybe that's just me. I don't know who really
See, but I
wants
feel
these
like-
games.
I feel like that's where the Friday the 13th game had so much opportunity too, because like, sure, it's you versus 6 counselors, but if they don't talk to each other, then they're just as useless to each other as anything else. So I might be OP, and you could easily take me down if the 6 of you grouped up together and were like, all right, let's hit him with everything we got till he's completely dead or whatever. Figure out the random sweater puzzle to actually kill Jason or whatever you want to do. But as soon as they don't work together for 1 second and it just becomes a 1-on-1 or a 1-on-2 even, you pretty much have the odds in your favor as the OP character.
Yeah,
But even that didn't do it.
I think that would have been a cool, like the asymmetrical multiplayer of Jason or of Friday the 13th would have been cool as a mode if they had made like a full-on, here's a new Jason story, right?
Right.
Where if you complete the game as a counselor, then you unlock like a different counselor. And if you play the game, beat the game with that counselor, then you can play the whole game as Jason, right?
Right.
Single player though, and maybe just go on. I mean, that would be cool. To just play
Yeah,
as
that would be
the
super
bad
cool.
guy the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not,
The,
it's not a new concept.
I really feel like they could have done it too with like the last one that they did, the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. That one changed like a bunch of weird stuff. Like now
Wait, that's a Rob
Jason's-
Zombie? The Rob Zombie movie?
No, I don't think zombies touched the...
Oh no, he did Halloween. Sorry, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He did
Yep.
Halloween.
No,
One and
but
two.
I think I want to say it was New Line in 2009 put out a remake and just called
Remake
it
or
Friday the
reboot?
13th. Reboot, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess reboot because it didn't actually make one of the old movies over again. So they took a couple of things from the movie and so like Jason's obsession with his mother after watching her get decapitated in the first one, spoilers.
You said spoilers after the spoiler.
Yeah, so after he sees that, he like becomes obsessed, but he's not real freaking bright, right? So that's the whole thing through the he's a huge monster, but he's time, So he through multiple movies, he sees women and they'll put on his mother's sweater or something or talk to him and be like, Jason, it's me, it's your mother. And he, he goes for it. He buys it. He gets distracted, whatever, just enough to slow him down. The 2009 remake or reboot, they took that way too extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Very first scene where you meet Jason is the opening. It's a bunch of kids. They go camping. They're looking for a huge field of weed. So they go on this camping adventure.
Right.
They end up finding it, but of course it's Jason's field of weed, so he kills them all. But you find out later.
Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute.
That's right.
Why does Jason have a field of weed?
That's Jason's field of weed.
Why?
You don't touch it. I don't know.
Does he
But
smoke
he was
the weed?
there as soon as the dude found him.
Oh. So
He
he's
was
not
like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is the weed field," and then he did.
he's not smoking
over.
all the weed.
No. He's probably selling it.
Oh shit. Hey, Jason's gotta eat,
But-
man.
So you find out later as the story goes on, right? There's this dude looking for his sister, disappeared on a camping trip years ago, blah, 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 going to look for her. Apparently, Jason now finds girls that kind of sort of look like his mother used to back when she was young and kidnaps them, chains them up underground, and keeps them alive for some reason. I'm not sure with what, because Jason doesn't, strike me as a chef or anything. So I'm not sure what she was eating for a year or whatever while she was kidnapped, chained to
he
a
probably just
bed.
buys fast food and shit with all his weed money.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. DoorDash now. Fuck.
Yeah, Grubhub.
Yeah. Anyway,
Predator Hunting Ground's gonna suck.
Yes. So they take it a little extreme, but that movie could easily become a decent game where you're that dude looking for his sister, and then you beat the game, and then you go back and you can replay like the first level, which would be when she gets kidnapped, and you get to play as her.
But just tell a new Jason story, but tell the story on the sticks, and that would be cool.
I think it needed a story. That was the problem.
Yeah. Was that a stretch goal on the Kickstarter? To have a story mode?
May have been to have. I know offline mode with bots was one, and then I think they may have had a campaign, but at that point they were asking for like over $3 million to fucking put a story in the thing, and people were like, "Is this thing gonna come out?" Or what are you doing?
Guys just fucking around over there?
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry, we're shipping stuff now.
Yeah. So we went off on that Jason tangent because of Predator Hunting Grounds, but there's one other final game on that, or was there more than one? Was Babylon Fall the last thing they ended on?
Nope, there's one more.
But Babylon Fall, was essentially like Kingdom Hearts style gameplay with Final Fantasy looking characters in a new IP from Square.
Square and Platinum.
Oh, right.
It's the other one, which is what I got the vibe from, was the huge Platinum, like
What do they make?
Hold on, what was that last one that everybody played? Nier.
Oh,
Nier
right. Automata.
Nier Automata. That's how I know that game. But yeah, some of the gameplay from that looked like that game does. Like, I don't know if it was the art style itself or the way the combat looked, but it definitely struck me even before I went back and like looked, like that struck me as a Platinum game.
Okay. Yeah, so they did Bayonetta. Mm-hmm. They did Star Fox Zero.
Ooh, everybody's favorite Star Fox.
They did Mutants in Manhattan, that Turtles game. That's cool.
Yeah, it was alright.
Bayonetta 3 is in development.
Really?
Well, it says to be announced. Bayonetta 3. I've never heard anything about that. So what was the final game?
The final one was the Ghost of Tsushima teaser,
That's
but
right.
they also had the Resident Evil 3 remake.
Oh, right. Yep.
Teasing the Project Resistance.
Right. They were trying to fake everybody out, but that information had leaked the box art on the PlayStation Store like 3 days before. So.
Right.
Or maybe like a week before.
Information that if you pre-order now, you can get the original costumes from Resident Evil 3.
Woo-hoo.
So in case you want to play in a tube top and mini skirt, pre-order in now.
That's a big no from me. Oh, yeah, sorry.
I already got mine.
Yeah. So that was the state of play. There's the whole Nintendo Indie World Showcase, and I don't have it in me to go down that road.
No.
We're at 2.5 hours. I think we should end it here. Oh,
yeah,
Wrestler hosted.
Really
Thanks,
wasn't
Wrestler.
Really wasn't like a ton. I mean, they're all indies, so
there were some
there's
neat
no
looking
companies
stuff
that we know expect anything from.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but there was some cool looking stuff. The coolest one I think that I saw that I would be most excited about is the one where you can mash up 2 different kinds of games and it'll like auto generate your own game based off the 2 that you pick.
Oh yeah, what was that called? That was Super Mash.
There it is.
Super Mash. Use the code ZYX1W1 when you get your hands on it.
I mean, we could just kind of blast through this list. This is a list from TheVerge.com that's kind of going over
Yep.
the best that they had to offer. So they showed a sequel for Axiom Verge, which looked kind of cool. Dauntless available on Switch today. Golf Story's getting a sequel. Sports Story, we talked about that earlier. Kind of neat. Talos Principle.
Street Rage.
Oh,
Street Rage 4.
Yep. Talos Principle, which is a game that I think I own on PS4 but never played.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that I've seen that game at a GDQ being run. So
we
I
got
guess we're gonna
something
get it for the Switch.
called Murder by Numbers, which I'm not really into graphic novels.
Yeah, that Hollywood in the '90s Phoenix Wright style murder mystery game.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. You like Phoenix Wright?
What is it?
I said Phoenix Wright. You like any of the Phoenix Wright games?
I'm not familiar.
It's the the attorney, Ace Attorney.
Oh,
He just does like all the court cases. That's what this reminds me of. It's like that style.
Actually, that is what it reminded me of, because I do know what you're talking about, and that is what.
Yep.
Wrestler, I said your name because I said thanks for the host, buddy. What's Birds Can Skateboard? That I didn't see.
Yo, Birds that skateboard is so what I have written here. Ready for this? Skatebird. So it's the best of Tony Hawk, but you're a bird. So essentially, it looks like a arcade skateboard game.
I'm putting
trying to go back to.
I'm putting the trailer up right now.
So it's like trying to go back to
Skate or Die.
Tony Hawk.
Oh,
Yeah, like any of those like arcade skateboard games.
okay.
But you're a bird, so they can put you in the real world and use small objects as big obstacles.
I see. It looks like it kind of plays like what we were talking about earlier, like the same kind of like a I Am Bread style, where it's like a little bit of puzzle elements in here too. But it does look you can flap to like. Yeah, this looks neat. You can flap to slow your descent. I like how instead of Thrasher magazine, it's Thrusher. Because a thrush, isn't that like a bird?
I don't know. I just know nobody wants to get sued.
Well, it's the same exact logo. Like
You're just a substitute for a jawline. Hey, man. Definitely is.
Wow. Titan coming in swinging.
Shots fired.
Seriously.
Yeah, so skateboard. It's bird skateboard. I don't know. I love games that like use everyday objects that we have that are small. It makes them really big. My favorite racing game for the Super Nintendo is Micro Machines.
Oh, that's a cool game.
I love that game.
Little Big Planet did that shit too, though. Big time.
Yeah, and I think that's why that I like that Superliminal game.
Oh yeah,
because of the change in size, the depth perception thing.
I gotta be honest. I've always been fascinated by like if I would be walking through like a Lowe's or a Home Depot when I was a kid, like just with anybody, just anytime ended up in any store and you'd see on the shelf they'd be either really really tiny, like like ignition wrenches, the little open-ended wrenches. They're so small.
Yep.
Or like this big giant, like a 2-inch open-ended wrench was always like so cool to me. Like, look at this fucking massive wrench. It's just like, it's like this little normal size wrench except mega.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that shit.
Yeah, I love seeing that with like the little pipe wrenches and stuff, because you can get a pipe wrench that's like this big to just fit on a little thing, or you can get the one that they're using to fucking
the ones that I use at work
off of the street
to put fucking boat propellers on shafts.
Yep. Those are the ones.
Panucci's Pizza. Hey guys, just picked up a random stream to give my Prime sub to before I go to bed. Have a great night. Thank you,
Hey.
Panucci's Pizza. Really appreciate
All
that.
right.
Let me send thanks for this sweating snowman emote.
Woo!
Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome.
Panucci's Pizza. Hey, are you a business?
Ooh.
Hey.
That face though.
And you got that first badge too.
First.
Yeah. I think if you're like one of the first 10 people to sub to the stream, then you get the badge.
Oh really? I was wondering.
Yep.
I got so many freaking badges in front of the names now that
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff
the worst
going on.
part is my computer at
Oh,
work.
it's a Futurama reference.
Oh yeah, where he works, right?
Is that what it is? Because I like that show, but I don't know all the lore behind it.
Yeah. Oh, what was his dog's name that he left there too? That poor dog. Oh my god.
That's a
It's
great
like the most
show.
heart-wrenching episode ever. Where he like finds his old dog buried underneath, and he's like, "Oh, he probably forgot about me a long." Seymour, that was it. It's just the flashback. He's sitting out there for years.
Awesome.
Poor dog.
Hey, Mike, I just noticed that you got your foam. Yeah. Ooh. The wrestler coming in with a sub. Wow.
Now, come on.
Wow, what's going on here? Thanks for the
Icy
dreidel.
Ooh. Dope.
Did you say
Oh, yeah,
icy
so-
wiener?
Yeah, I.
Oh.
Dot C. Dot Wiener is the guy that ordered the pizza that sent Fry into the chamber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so next time that we hang out, I also got another one.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, because my
I got you one too.
my peas are popping. No, that thing actually works really well because your peas are not popping.
Good, because I paid a whole fucking 35 cents, so it better work.
Damn.
Told you, man. Came straight from China and smells
Like lead?
like underage sweat.
Hey, Panucci's Pizza. Thank you again for that sub. Coming in clutch towards the end of the stream. Was not expecting that. Hope to see you
Awesome.
next. Oh, thanks for the follow too. I don't have the any notifications up because for reasons, but come back next time when I'm playing the Mosquito game on PS2, and we'll be sure to refresh all of these subs and follows and whatnot. Dude, the dreidel emote looks baked.
I'm not a
Ian.
traitor. Leave me alone.
I get it.
All right.
Is there anything else worth talking about these Nintendo indies?
Lit like menorah.
9 times a week.
I can't even right now. I had a mental break on my last stream. I streamed yesterday for a little while. I played some Overwatch and played some Days Before Christmas. And they made special animations for Santa climbing up a candy cane pole.
Okay.
Let's just say I combined that with a little sexy saxophone music, and I lost my shit, man. There's a highlight on my channel if you want to go check it out.
Yes,
It's
I
great.
do.
I don't know what it was, man, but I was like in the right mood, sitting there, looking at it, going, oh my God. Just lost it.
I
That was a
don't
good
like.
one.
I don't like that I can't get to your page from the friends list. I hate that. It's the
Oh, yeah,
worst.
that you can't just. I did the same thing when we were setting up. I clicked yours, and then you have to, like. I had to actually dig it up. The other thing that drives me nuts is I feel like the list of the people that I follow when they're not online just gets moved around randomly. Like sometimes you'll be right at the top of the offline, and sometimes you'll be like buried 5 pages deep.
Sorry, how I'm putting this on the screen.
Oh, great. Here we go. Watch me giggle like a little bitch.
Wait, what game is this?
It's called Days Before Christmas.
Nah, you're having so much fun. I like that you're cracking up at the same time as you're cracking up.
Dude, I mean, look at it. Look
Blazed
at that
Before
spin.
Christmas. Hey.
Look at that spin, dude. Just can't.
Oh, and then the next one is you fixing some Nintendo shite.
Oh yeah, Super Famicom controllers, which I have a whole box.
Super duper Nintendo controllers.
Super duper Nintendo. That's what I'm
Amen.
gonna call it from now on.
Yeah, totally.
Super duper Nintendo.
I think we're there. I think we made it to the end of another episode.
I think that's it. We
2
covered all my
hours
notes.
Yeah, that's good. There it is.
Now.
Covered all my Yoshis.
Boom. Get
So
rid of that.
yeah. Oh man, it's a shame to wrap it up. You want to play anything?
I mean,
keep streaming.
I'm down.
What
I
could
don't
we
know what I
play?
have in here. That's a good question.
We got some
You got
viewers.
fork knife.
Fork knife? You said?
You got fork knife.
Wrestler.
Fork knife.
Wrestler coming through. He got the badges. He got the emotes now. You know what I mean?
Pimped out.
Pimped out in Mark Money's channel. We should have done this on a separate channel. Getting all these subbies.
What?
But you know what that's doing? That's getting me closer. That's getting me closer. The more subs on this channel, then it's part of the affiliate program. I'll get the
The partnership.
No. The next I think 15 subs and you get you unlock the third or extra emote spot or something. Something like that. I think the first thing is broke. Not gonna lie, I had it in the stream that had like 30 something subs. It was weird. Yeah, but if you subscribe to them long before the first badge came out, if you were one of the first people to originally sub, it doesn't matter. You don't have to stay subscribed to them. I think Pop got one in Allie's stream. Allie 90, 8-bit Allie from, the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The video game years?
Yeah. Yep. No, it was my first time ever subbing. Oh, okay. Maybe it's broke. Or maybe they upped the number. Who knows? Point is, you got it. So you could flaunt that shit now.
Boom.
Wrestler, it's so cool that you came in. I always see you on Twitch. I'm always like, huh. This dude used to hang out all the time. I wonder if he'll come back this time. Never going to go and say that. And then here you are. It's so cool. It's like back in the day. I remember living, at the apartment with my brother, streaming from the Potato. PS4, doing Battlefront 2 beta weekend and Uncharted 4 beta. And, it was the original Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront beta. Okay, so you guys know how they made the tiny Super Nintendo and whatnot. What would be your guys' dream mini console, and with what 5 games as a must-have? Well, it's hard to say, but for me, I think it's gonna end up falling on the PS2. Would be great. I think the PS2 would be, if we're talking about ones that haven't been made yet, and they did the PS1 and it was kind of a dud. I think the PS2. I mean, you're talking about the best-selling game console of all time with thousands of games. What would I put on it? GTA 3, Jak and Daxter. I mean, ideally the whole trilogy, but if we're just saying one game per franchise, then I've only really had a lot of experience with the first one. I'm assuming they just get better and better, you know. PS2 though, what else would be on there? Gotta have like a Tekken game, Tekken. Sorry,
Atakan. You gotta get that MGS2. That game sold me my PS2.
2 or 3, either one would work, but 2 is great. Metal Gear Solid 2 for sure. I mean, that's it, right? Top
Shadow
5.
of Colossus.
Shadow of Colossus has to be there. That's a Sony property.
See, there's so many good games though.
But you're saying
That's
top
the part about
5.
choosing the PS2.
Yeah. There are some. Oh, Devil May Cry. Such a good game. God of War. Fucking God of War, man.
Copyrights really make that impossible.
Do they though? Because a lot of these games are wholly owned subsidiaries of Sony, right? Sony Santa Monica is who did God of War, so Japan Studios who did Shadow of Colossus, right? I think. Jack and Daxter's Naughty Dog, that's Sony property. GTA 3, that would be tough, but not unattainable.
Those games got to be tough on their own, though, because radio station stuff, right?
They do what?
Because of the radio stations. You got to re-copyright all that music.
That would be the hard part. The music. Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess if you take all the licensing and copyright limitations and everything away, then yeah, PS2 seems like a really solid system to do it for. I love
a few good Tony Hawk games to choose from.
Yeah. I mean, I like the original NES and the Super Nintendo, but the N64, like, that is a huge part of my like preteen adolescence, is like playing the N64 with people. And like Mario 64,
Mario
Star Fox
Kart.
64,
Yeah.
Mario Kart 64,
007, GoldenEye.
007. I mean,
Would you
where
put
do
a
you wanna go?
Conquer
You wanna
on
go-
there?
That's what I'm wondering though. Do you go Conquer or do you go? I mean, they had some Castlevania games. They also had the Mario Party games released.
Mortal Kombat 4 wasn't bad on the
I
64.
had Mortal Kombat 4 as one of my first 2 games I owned for that system, and I played the shit out of that thing.
Pop, you boomers still up? You missed it, man. People were coming in here. Fucking Titan subbed. We got a random sub from somebody who just wanted to be nice before they went to bed. Having great conversations over here. What do you mean still up?
What do you mean still up? Wait a minute. Someone plugged in lights behind me? I thought it was daytime still.
N64 with a Mario game pack, 20 other games would be lit.
Yeah.
That's true. Would you put like Perfect Dark on there? They had the Donkey Kong game, which I didn't really like, Donkey Kong 64.
No, I feel like Donkey Kong 64 was one of the weak ones. I feel like anyone that doesn't say country in the title, just isn't doing it.
What else on 64? Wasn't there a cool Bomberman game on 64? I feel like there was.
I mean, if you're into Bomberman,
How about this one?
I was never like huge in Bomberman. But
Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, Bomberman 64 is called.
10 out of 10.
64 out of 64. It was a fun-ass game, especially when you had 4 people playing.
I never got into the Bomberman series.
That one was the one I played more than anything. Is there Kirby games on 64?
There is the Crystal Shard, I want to say it is.
Okay. What else?
Yeah. Beetle Adventure Racing.
It's a great game.
One of my favorite racing games. One of the Rush games too. I think it was like
2049?
Rush 2049.
Yeah.
That one was fantastic.
Yeah, that was good.
Any of the wrestling games. I
Yeah,
mean,
those
No
were good on
Mercy,
64.
WrestleMania, like that was the like height of wrestling games for me. The controls were good.
Do you
Like as
put-
clunky and dumb as they were,
Do you-
punch or grab, and those are your options.
Do you
But,
put Pilot Wings 64 on there?
ooh, that's a good question.
I had fun playing it,
I
but that's
mean-
because that was like the one game that my friend had.
Right.
Wave
Oh,
Race.
F-Zero
Ooh,
X.
F-Zero, Wipeout. Holy shit, those are some good ones.
Yeah, Wave Race. I had Wave Race too.
See, there was
That was a
games that
good
I
one.
played for that were cool that didn't age well, like Clay Fighter.
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, Clay Fighter for sure. But it was a cool gimmick, though. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
sure.
it was the same thing from the SNES, though. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Take me to dinner first and we'll see what happens.
I feel like I should stop looking at this chat. It's gonna get intense in there.
Yeah. It's getting steamy.
Paper Mario 64.
Wow. Oh,
It's their Super Mario RPG that they couldn't get licensed with RPG again, so they just went paper.
oh, with Square, you mean?
Right.
I
Yeah,
didn't
they-
realize that's why that happened.
Yep. They were trying to do another RPG game, and Square backed out or something.
Pokemon Stadium. You know what game I liked was fucking so stupid? It was Pokemon Snap. Oh, there goes Titan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I like that game.
Snap
I
was
thought it was
great.
fun.
Dude, we should, if we could get a new Snap like now,
That
4K ray tracing.
Oh my god, it would be so perfect with the Switch, just being able to like move it around and be like, oh, there.
Yep.
Good
Perfect.
idea. Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racing,
Ooh,
peak of racing.
I
game.
did have that game too. Or no, I did not have pod racing. I had Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, I think that's the one that Titan's talking about, right?
That was the one.
The
man.
dogfighting game. Is that it? Or is that TIE
No.
Fighter? What is that?
Yeah, I think that was TIE Fighter.
No, is that?
PC, right?
No, he's talking about 64.
Because for the 64, I remember Rogue Squadron, and I remember the Episode 1 Pod Racer. If there was more, I'm not sure.
Rogue Squadron 3D.
Rogue Squadron, I played the shit out of it because that was the one where you could put in the code and get the new, the racer from Episode 1 before it even came out. It was like a huge thing. Back when we used to read paper gaming magazines.
What's
Back in
that?
my day.
What's
Back
that?
in my day. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I used to do. I got that game, played the first level
Pretty much
800
any game with
times.
64 in it.
Yeah, I mean, except Doom 64. I gotta disagree with you there, Pop. Doom 64 is dark, gross.
Snowboard kids.
Dude.
1080
Dude, bro.
snowboarding
Oh, 1080 for sure.
was cool.
All day.
Did anybody say Ocarina of Time?
No, I mean those are kind of givens. That and Majora's Mask.
That was actually something I wanted to bring up on this episode of the podcast, and this might start a whole another hour-long conversation.
All right, here we
I
go.
don't know if anybody saw this, but the Angry Video Game Nerd released a new video. Did you see it?
Majora's Mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
On Majora's Mask. And my comment was very simple. I said, we were all thinking it, and the nerd just says it. Majora's
Ooh.
Mask sucks.
Ooh,
Fuck that game.
dude,
Ocarina,
hot
masterpiece.
takes.
Majora's Mask, rotting trash fire.
Ooh, hot takes. Hot takes.
I get it.
I would
that you got to watch the
not
clock and it
say
becomes
hot
its own
trash
game mechanics, but I never got into it far enough to see all the other bullshit that's in that game. And the nerd video, he's being honest, I think. And if that's what you got to deal with the saving and the... fuck all that.
I feel like a lot of that got addressed though. If he had played like the 3DS one,
Which he said he was going for the OG.
Right, which I get. And at the time, nobody had some of the features that he was looking to be simplified.
Right, but the game that preceded it saved fine when you needed to save and didn't like reset your progress and lose all your shit every time that fucking game mechanics said, oh, you took too long.
Right. But isn't that part of playing a game with a time limit? I mean, you play Mario,
sure.
Even if there's no
Sure,
crazy
but,
jumps
like,
to do or anything,
I know,
you still got to get there.
and
before
he makes the point that Zelda, as a franchise, has never been afraid to try new things, but I think they should have been afraid to try that thing. Honestly, the game mechanics. This is Titan Exodos from the chat. Am I saying that right, Exodos? Because that's how I've always said it. Is it Exodus? Honestly, the game mechanics become too much of a chore and the late game gets kind of boring without the strong direction and exploration the first 64 Zelda game had. The core game loop is just tedious. It's like Death Stranding before Death Stranding.
All right.
Let's hear your opinion, Mike.
Yes. All right. The time loop does get super tedious, but I feel like it gives you more opportunity to go back and see things that you could easily miss when you play like Ocarina. You go through Ocarina, if you blow through that first part of it and you become adult Link, like you can always go back and go look for things as a kid again.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you could probably just like skip right over and not even see go on. Or there's things like they force you to go back. Like those mechanics were kind of annoying too.
Yeah.
Like you can't get the the Song of Light until you have to travel back in time, which you technically don't even have to do until you make it to the last level of the Dark World as an adult.
Okay.
Like until you reach that level, you don't have to be small again for anything unless you're looking for extra shit. With rewinding the time 3 days, the same things happen over and over and over again. You can just reach new things and you know of new things happening, but it's always there. And if you screw it up and you mess it right there, like he was talking about, you got to go and defend against the aliens and save the cows or whatever. Like if you screw that up, you can instantly rewind time and go back.
In which game?
And just try it again. In Majora's Mask.
Oh.
You can just rewind time and go back to the beginning and you got another shot at it. Like that's it. Whereas if you go through and you screw up some things, like let's say like when you go back to get the horse in Ocarina, like if you can't do that race, you just have to keep going and keep throwing money at it until eventually you win. There's no just like reset. The bank thing I did find also super annoying, like he was talking about, but I feel like you only really have to use the bank for one situation, unless a lot of those side stories call for it, which I didn't 100% the game at all. So, but for the core game itself, I think you only needed it to get a big bomb barrel, and then that was it.
Here's the thing. I can't, I guess, really judge it because I bought it when I had a 3DS, and I was like, I'm finally going to play this game. All right, and I started playing it, and right off the bat, it was like, okay, I'm playing a fucking 20-year-old game, pretty much, and so I'm like trying to get past that and reignite the magic that I had when I played Ocarina for the first time. And when I really started getting into that, like what the game was, it just turned me off completely. So I can't comment on like what Titan's talking about here and how the lore and the story and everything was good. But I think ultimately for me it does come back to that, right? Because when I played the original Zelda as a kid, I was blown away by what that was. And I was intrigued to figure out what it all meant. And then I missed Link to the Past and all the Game Boy entries. And my next exposure to Zelda, well, I did play the second one, and I remember I didn't like it as much. I thought it was too hard when I was a kid. Zelda 2, or Link. Yeah, Zelda 2. Then I didn't touch Zelda again until 64 and fell in love with that game. And I remember I didn't like it at first. I was like, oh, fuck this. This doesn't feel right. And then it was what we had to play.
Right.
So I played it. And then I was like, oh, man, I'm so glad I did that. And I actually finished that game. And then I didn't really touch a Zelda game after that until Breath of the Wild. I mean, I missed all those other Zelda games. And but the point is, oh no, sorry. Link Between Worlds. I did play that. I did play Link Between Worlds.
Yep.
But I think that so here's what I'm going to say. The story, I feel like all the stories of these games are great. But Majora's Mask is kind of like, I guess if you don't have that story, it doesn't really take away from your overall Zelda experience. And I think a lot of games in the series are like that, where you don't need to play them to like really appreciate the parts that you do like, because we've all read the timeline. Maybe we haven't all read it, but when I read the Zelda timeline, like the Majora's Mask part of it didn't stand out as very exciting. So you know how I'm always a stickler for a need to have some good story.
Right.
But I do think that if I had played that game when it was new, I would have liked it then. I think going back to it later, not having experienced it and been like blown away by it then. I saw a friend play it for a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, this is the new Zelda based off the old style Zelda for 64. This looks great. And then he was showing me like, oh yeah, you get these masks and you get different powers and blah, blah, blah. I was intrigued, but I never had a 64. So I was a PlayStation kid. My mom had to play the 64 for a short while, and that's where I played Ocarina of Time and 1080 snowboarding.
Yeah, so my Zelda experience was I had a Zelda 1 and never beat that game, but had it when I was young enough that it intrigued me and I played it. And then after that, we had the Super Duper Nintendo. So I played Link to the Past. And that one is where my Zelda obsession started.
Okay.
Because I started playing that game and fell in love with the look of the game was amazing. The light and dark world was like a thing that I'd never seen before. It was like taking the same place, but then fucking it up. And here's the dark version of everything.
Right.
So that was super cool. Blew my mind. And then so that formula, watching that and then seeing it in the 3D when you move over to Ocarina. And I had, me and my brother used to have this babysitter that would come over, and the dude worked for Blockbuster, and he would just take games and come over and play them.
Okay.
So the first time that I saw Ocarina of Time, it was him playing it, and he actually started from the water level and finished the rest of that game in front of us. And I remember for the first time ever seeing that end credit where everybody's dancing around and celebrating and they're all coming together, and just watching from just from the water temple on to the end of that game, and then seeing all these characters and being like, oh my God, we saved we're amazing. Like that feeling right there. And then to watch, what was it, a year or 2 years later, they turn around, they give you Majora's Mask. So same engine, same graphic style and everything, but we're in a completely new place.
Did you need
with
the
a totally new story?
Expansion pack to play that game?
You did. I actually remember because my brother actually ended up buying Majora's Mask and the expansion pack from a Blockbuster, I want to say the year after Majora's Mask was out. And Blockbuster was already we got to get rid of this crap. So we got those for pretty cheap, I want to say.
Yeah,
And then
that's cool.
yeah, so my brother played it through, and I actually never touched. I saw him start it up. I saw the town, and that was as much as I ever saw. After that, I completely gave up on the game. I was like, all right, this isn't Arena, so it wasn't until it hit 3DS that I actually sat down to play through it for the first time. But dude, I gotta say, like, using the same engine, having exactly the same as the one that you just put out, but now you have a time mechanic that's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Zelda, there's no Ganon or Ganondorf. There's like only 3 major temples or whatever that you gotta worry about, or I guess it's 4. So there's 4 temples instead of you do 3, then you go to a different place, and then you do 6 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I really thought that changing it up gave it a really good twist to basically what, we already have this stuff on the shelf. How do we take this and turn it into something new enough that everybody wants to play it again?
Right.
So
I guess
at the time mechanic,
at the time,
add all that stuff. You change into new characters. That was a thing that you couldn't do before. I mean, you met all these people in Ocarina, but never could you actually be a Zora or a Deku or a...
Yeah, I think I really would have. It would have been way better for me if I played it when it was new. It's just...
So I can't hate on that game.
Yeah.
What I can do is fucking hate on goddamn Wind Waker, because that game sucks ass, Pop. Fuck.
Oh,
So
he
bad.
said, yeah. So, let's just go over some of the chat, because Titan said that the world and characters that fill
Yeah,
it are amazing. Such a cool idea, meeting the people during its apocalypse, and the people are developing over the 3 days until they're cowering in fear, that is an interesting
I love that.
part of the game.
Because
Pop says
I've
Breath of...
watched-
Oh, go ahead. No.
I've watched videos online that, like, if you watch and look and go through the different areas that you go through in Majora's Mask, you can find like the different different stages of grieving depending on where you go.
Right.
And like you said with the nerd video, you do that one side quest where you find, that couple that's supposed to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how touching is that? Like, that whole quest takes multiple trips through time and, hunting these people down and doing all these other little quests just so that they can spend the last minute and 30 seconds of their life together. Like, come on. That's touching right there.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, Nintendo's good at making games. I think the one thing that I took away most from that video was when he pointed out how it's all dark and dreary looking, but not just like the story, which is cool, but the actual color palette is very dark and brown, and he shows gameplay of Link to the Past, and it's like, wow, that really does look like, to me, a better game just based on the appearance of it. But the Nintendo 64 era of games were, and PS1 and Sega Saturn was an ugly
really
era. It was ugly games at the time, because they were still figuring it out, so you can't really fault them for that, because the game, it's all about how it feels on the paddle. Let's get back to what Pop said. He says Breath of the Wild, best Zelda game of all time. I would say, if you're going to talk about objective truths, you're talking about the most advanced systems, the biggest map, probably the best feeling combat, the options for like lots of outfit changes, aesthetically pleasing, really nice cell shaded graphics. I would agree that it's my favorite of all of them.
I would say it's the best Zelda game, except the story.
Yeah, the story.
I think that Ocarina's story is the best story.
I think I would agree with you on that. Everything you just said too. Yeah. Gameplay wise, though, I think Breath of the Wild takes the cake, hands down. I've never played Wind Waker. I did play Link's Awakening, and so for me,
Don't do it.
For me, Link's Awakening is on that top 5 or whatever, top 4, whatever you did. Link to the Past is great, but mine would go probably Breath of the Wild. My personal favorites: Breath of the Wild, Ocarina, the original Zelda on NES, and then the Link's Awakening remake. I'm sure I'd like the original too, but after that, I don't know. I don't even know. Link Between Worlds, maybe? That's the only other one I played. I mean, it's not Zelda 2.
Yeah. I mean, when I stop and think about it, I guess I've played more Zelda games than I
Thought you had?
actually think about all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely played a lot of them and got rid of them over the years. Like, I played both of those Oracle of Seasons and Ages games. Me and my brother played those at the same time because they were, like, interconnected somehow. So we got both of them and played those. So those, I think I played Seasons and he did Ages. So Seasons was good. I mean, that was a Game Boy Color game.
Yep.
So, yeah, that thing was fun at the time.
Did you play Hyrule Warriors or Link's Crossbow Training?
I did not play either of those. I did, at the time when it was new, play the Four Swords Adventure with the Game Boy Advance hookups to the GameCube.
Did you guys play?
Played along with 3 people and play that game.
Did you guys play the Panasonic CDI Zelda games?
No, I did not.
Has anybody ever seen gameplay of those?
Yes.
It's so bad.
I did play, oh my god, what was it? Hotel Mario. I did get to play that.
Looking. Actually, isn't that one kind of fun, though? Or no,
No, not really.
No, okay.
You know what was fun? There was a golf game on the CDI that was really fun.
Dude, golf games? Golf games are the best.
Yeah, it was like a mini golf fucking putt-putt thing. The narrator was hilarious. It worked with the, like, limited use of the CDI. It was like, choose straight, left, or right. Which way do you want to hit the ball? Now, when do you want to hit the ball?
Very rudimentary.
Frame 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah.
And that was it. But it was good. I mean, it was
golf games are fun, man. Some of my favorite games of all time are golf games. Like, I love Hot Shots Golf. And I love Everybody's Golf, which is still Hot Shots Golf. There were so many good Tiger Woods games on the PS1, the PS2, the PS3. All the golf games on, like, the regular NES are pretty fun.
Yep.
You got Golf with Your Friends on PC, which is good. Everybody has nothing but good things to say about Golf Story.
My favorite.
What the Golf? Sorry, Apple Arcade. What the Golf? Great, phenomenal game. Golf It. I forgot about Golf It. Go ahead, Mike.
Mario Golf.
Mario
On
Golf.
the 64.
So good. Are they coming out with a new Mario Golf? I'll buy that day one.
They
Nintendo,
should.
I will buy that game day one.
Day one. Right there with Pokemon Snap 4K ray tracing.
Polar Golf is the best golf game of all time. Changed my mind. I don't know what Polar Golf is. Let's look it up.
Oh, Mark's got a new golf game. Be sure to catch Mark's stream Monday.
Oh, Polar Golfer?
Yep. Gonna say it right now. Oh shit. Here we go. Are you gonna try and tell me how Wind Waker's still? I feel like I'm standing alone on this fucking hill, but I'm still standing here. That game sucks.
Golf Story is the best golf game ever, Pop says. Oh, this Polar Golf looks like Hot Shots Golf already, so it's got that going for it. What system is this for? Wrestler, what system is this for?
Polar Golf.
PC. Cool. Pop, sorry, but Hot Shots Golf, I mean, everybody's golf, and one of those is definitely the best golf game ever. So, stop fronting.
Only Zelda game that fleshes out Ganon as a character.
Whoever's playing this Let's Play, though, I mean, like...
Listen, you're not going to get to Ganon if you can't travel around fucking empty seas and find 8 random pieces of the goddamn Triforce just because we had to flesh out the last one without making another dungeon. So, piss off, all right?
Pop,
Sorry,
you're right. I
but
haven't
I'm
played Golf
standing
Store.
on this hill.
Is Polar Bowler the same thing but bowling?
Listen, there's a difference between being a pirate and being that guy at the beach with the metal detector, okay? I'm all for it, Sea of Thieves, stealing boats and being a yo-ho pirate, but looking for garbage in the ocean is not being a pirate.
You know what's an amazing game? City Skylines.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, you said that one was better than the last Sim City, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
I haven't...
the last
played
SimCity
SimCity
I
since
played was...
SNES.
No, I think I tried it on the PC. And it just was not... SimCity 2000 was the best game ever. I had that on a Macintosh. I'm telling you, it's the overall best golf game. Alright, well, maybe I'll stream that. No, I don't like streaming RPGs because I feel obligated to read the dialogue to the audience. You know? This golf game is pretty cool. Now we're going down memory lane. I used to play... Let's take a look at this. This is 10 Pin Alley on the PS1. We used to rent this game, and I actually loved it. And it's so funny what it looks like.
Ten Pin Alley. Wow. Those graphics, though.
I know. Oh, this brings back a lot of memories, though. It really does. Look at that meter. Is that even necessary? 1,
No.
2, 3.
For a bowling game? I mean, well, I guess before the Wiimote, how did you play a bowling game?
How what?
That's the question. How did you play a bowling game? You know,
Just-
before Wii Bowling.
Oh, yeah, with triple click button presses.
Just like golf?
Just like golf.
Well, guess if it ain't broke.
Oh, look at
Not
that.
comparable to Breath of the Wild, but up there for me for Zelda games.
This guy
Okay.
sucks.
I mean, to each their own. I'm sure people wouldn't agree with my top 3 or whatever anyway.
Top 3
5,
what?
Whatever. The
Zelda games? Oh, yeah.
Mine's tough though because I'm a dirty cheater because my number 1's a dead tie. Can't break it, don't know what to do.
Here we go. This looks like gameplay.
Here we go.
This is Zelda on the CDI. What the fuck?
The best Zelda game?
Zelda's Adventure.
Yeah, fuck Link, dude. Game's been called Zelda for how long? How many times did you get to play as?
Wow, look at this. Somebody's just enlarging the picture on Photoshop. That's their fucking pan in to the castle.
Just drag it closer.
Oh shit.
Dude, it's so bad. Uh,
This fucking guy for real. Oh,
The scroll of Shemak, bearer of sad news these many years ago.
oh, that scroll that was sitting next to you the whole time. You just picked it up now and are surprised by what it says.
Make haste. Post date 5 years ago. Jesus. The worst. It's bad. It's not good. All right. I guess every franchise has to have its bad one. At least this one's comically bad. Then you look
Says
for the
Zelda
next one, and
trapped in
people
a
are like,
stone.
And so I found this champion of strength and courage. It is you, Princess Zelda. With this magic pendant, go forth, and with each sign you gather, so too will you gain knowledge.
So imagine if Sony and their PlayStation were the ones that got these right. That's what would have happened. And we got Zelda games on the PlayStation hardware. Nope, they gave it to Philips, who never made a game in their life.
right, but
Well, I guess neither did Sony at that point.
yeah, so that's the question. Just like, I mean, does Sony do anything better with it?
I don't know. I'm just looking at this though. Like they're naming their name isn't Zelda. Shit. Stupid.
I mean, it can only get worse. I mean, it could only get better than this.
right.
This,
Right. Like,
this is the worst.
This is the gameplay. Hold on, let's take a look at this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's Yep. That's the thing.
Oh, the Moblin Inn. Oh, listen to that sound effects. What?
Wow.
What is that weapon too, by the way? A cane?
Yeah, probably. It's like a common thing for Zelda games. Canes and such.
Oh, fair princess, pity a suffering creature.
Oh God, it's so bad.
In the north.
Yes,
I
it
ask
is.
only
That's
enough
why we
for
don't
a
look at it.
single meal.
Let's just leave that over there.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Wow, we made it 3.5 hours now.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Already?
I feel like it's showing in my face.
No, that's just giving away what time it is.
Oh.
Not that it's been 3 hours, just what time it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think, man?
I'm thinking the next time that I hang out with 40 is right in between Christmas and New Year's.
I
Do
got
you have any plans?
I got
during
time
that
off.
week?
Nah, I'm just chilling.
I asked him about guesting on the podcast, and he said if he was going to, he felt like the best way for us to try and pull it off would be to do it a little earlier and for us to come to your place.
Oh, and just do a round table?
Right.
You gotta bring your microphone, because I only have 2.
I got plenty of mics and cameras, so.
Yeah, that would actually probably
we
come
both got time off.
quite a bit earlier, so we could set it up.
Yeah.
And then probably do it right there. Just a little round table action. Yeah, it'd be fun. Yeah, let's make that happen.
For sure, for sure.
All right, so you can't hear it, but I got the music playing in the background, so let's just let's call it here. It was a good one. 3.5 hours. Lots of people coming,
Fantastic.
hanging out, engaging. I like the idea of sticking to the script. You know, read a couple comments like peppered in throughout the conversation, and then maybe if we start
Open
getting
it up
a
at
lot
the
more,
end.
open it up at the end and just kind of go off whatever. I mean, we ended up watching Zelda CDI games, so
Yeah, I know. That shit don't happen every day.
no. All right, so give me I don't know, 10, 15 seconds of silence. We'll play it out on the outro screen, and next week at 10. I mean, you got anything you want to plug I would say anybody who's interested in supporting this stream, the best way to do that this week would be to go, if you're friends with our friend Kenny. Oh, sorry, I said it. I didn't mean to say it, but it's too personal. Go over to Pop's Twitter and check out what he's got going on. I don't know if you want me to say, I mean, bring that up, but just, go over there, see what you can do. And if there's anything that Mike, you wanna be...
The only thing I got is fingers crossed we got that video.
A Warp in Time. Yeah, that's right. Go to Mike's YouTube channel, new YouTube channel with his him and his son. A Warp in Time. Search that on YouTube and you'll find it. And we're gonna hopefully see a new video on Christmas Eve.
Yes. Fingers crossed as long as the computer don't die.
Oh, why is it crying for help these days?
That's the only time that I've had a delay, is when I had the computer problem.
Oh.
So far it's been good.
Word.
So like I said, fingers crossed.
You can catch me right here on this channel streaming Mondays and Wednesdays and whenever else I get a free moment. Mr. Mosquito. It's still just I've just gotta finish it. I gotta beat that game. So
you're so close, man. You only got what, 5 levels left?
Yeah, and once I do that, then I can go back to that easy game I was playing before, Cuphead.
Oh yeah. Did you get past that dragon?
No. Oh wait, maybe.
All right.
Maybe I did. I can't remember. The game glitches out every time I play it, so it's like added layer of fury. All right.
That's no fun.
I'm changing to the outro screen, so that's all our shit for this week. The podcast will resume same time, same place next week, Saturday, around 10 o'clock. We're just calling it. Maybe it could be 10:30.
10-ish.
Could be 11. Last week it was 12. All right, so cool. All right, man.
From us.
Yeah, from us, for you. Peace out.